Going into the Monster Jam season for my very first ever Stadium Series championship tour.
Desert beautiful Glendale, Arizona, the home of the Arizona Cardinals, tonight plays host to this historic Monster Jam Marvel event. It's the first of three, and I want to welcome everybody right now to our broadcast studio inside Monster Jam headquarters. I'm Scott Jordan, back in the saddle once again with my partner, Adam Entiknab. Adam, the boys are back together. Great to have you here.
I'm so happy that Monster Jam is back, and I'm ready to call some action.
I want to welcome our Monster Jam fans watching around the world for this live broadcast that's sure to be an incredible, unbelievable event. Now, Adam, you and I had the pleasure of calling our London event last year when Marvel returned to Monster Jam. The biggest question that has lingered since then is, when will these trucks compete in the United States? That question has been answered. Tonight is the night. It's here. Patience has paid off in a big way. What are your expectations?
Well, I'm very intrigued for two-wheel skills and freestyle. There's so many amazing trucks out there, including the amazing Spider-Man, Iron Man, Gravedigger. It is going to be so hard to see who's the best and be a fan judge tonight. But the most important thing, Marvel and Monster Jam are here, and we're ready to call the action.
What more could you ask for? Well, two Marvel drivers, Adam, coming over from the International Series. We have Iron Man's Brandon Arthur, Black Panther's Barry Musauer. Jamie Sullivan and Camden Murphy get their first opportunities in Marvel Monster Jam trucks. Jamie takes hold the worthiness of Mjolnir and Thor, and of course, everybody's friendly neighborhood Monster Jam driver, Camden Murphy, takes over the Amazing Spider-Man. Adam, do Barry and Brandon have any type of advantage from competing in these trucks for over a year?
I mean, the big advantage that they would have is just doing some of those international events. The one thing, I did get a chance to talk to Brandon, and he's in a different truck right now. His truck, Iron Man, is actually still international, so he's driving a different truck with the Iron Man body, and that'll be the same for Barry. Barry, he's a veteran. He doesn't need any advantages. He's smooth on the track. He has everything so dialed. But for Brandon Arthur, it's going to be a hurdle tonight. This stadium is very, very big, bigger than anything he's seen before.
Let's take a look at tonight's driver lineup. We have 12 Monster Jam superstars. When it comes to Glendale, Adam Anderson has won 2 overalls here, including one earlier this year. Adam, can Gravedigger reign on the Marvel Parade?
Gravedigger can always rain on anybody's parade, that is for sure, but Camden Murphy, he is somebody I'm going to watch. He's in the Amazing Spider-Man. Back in April, he won this event in Monster Jam. He won racing and two-wheel skills, so he's going to be lethal tonight.
He won the 2 competitions, did not win the overall event championship, though. And the thing with Camden Murphy is that he has not competed since we had World Finals at SoFi Stadium, so we'll see if that plays a factor. But earlier today, Adam, I had the chance to talk to the Spider-Man driver and Brandon Arthur about tonight's event. Piloting Iron Man since it debuted in London last year, do you think that familiarity gives you an advantage here tonight?
Yeah, you know, I've been piloting Iron Man for the last year, and it's been awesome. You know, I feel like I've kind of grown to become the character a little bit myself, and I gotta love it. And I think that gives me an advantage to be able to kind of sit at home and be Iron Man here tonight.
Camden, I'm sure there's a lot of excitement for you to drive the Amazing Spider-Man, but with that excitement also comes a lot of hype surrounding it. Will that be a distraction for you?
Oh man, I'm so hyped to be driving the Amazing Spider-Man. It has been an absolute blast seeing the fan interaction and the fan reaction from me being behind the wheel of it. Bernard has done an amazing job recently, internationally. So I'm so pumped. No pressure at all. We're gonna go out here, have an absolute blast. I haven't driven since World Finals. The truck hasn't hit the track since World Finals, so had some tricky troubles in practice, but man, I cannot wait to get it going.
Brandon, this is a big, deep track at State Farm Stadium, possibly the biggest one you've competed on in your Monster Jam career. How do you plan on adjusting to that?
Yeah, the floor here at Glendale is really big, and I feel like it plays kind of into my favor with all my desert racing and short course racing background. And, we got plenty of room to work with out here on this floor, and I know it's going to be exciting. These Marvel trucks are going to hit the floor running, and there's nothing they're going to be able to do to stop us.
Candace, so many kids all around the world love the Amazing Spider-Man. What does it mean to you to represent such an iconic character beloved by millions around the world?
Man, it means the absolute world to me. I dressed up as Spider-Man when I was a little kid, so this is truly a dream come true for sure, making a Marvel Monster Jam truck like Spider-Man come to life. So it is awesome to be able to see all the fans out there too with all the Spider-Man merch is going to be so cool. So it means the world to me. I know it means the world to all the Amazing Monster Jam fans out there, so I'm going to try to do the Amazing Spider-Man right.
Brandon, as a second-year driver in a lineup of many Monster Jam veterans, do you feel that you are up to the task to compete for the overall event championship?
Yeah, it's definitely a tough field out here, and I think it's not gonna be that bad. I got a lot of questions that I can ask, and I got a lot of really good guys and girls out here that I can rely on to answer some of the questions that I may have. And obviously the goal is always to go out there and compete for an overall championship, but my first round of racing could be really tough for me, so if I can get through that, I think we've got a good shot for it. But the goal out there is to go down there and put Ironman on the floor and do the best job I can and make all those Ironman fans proud.
Last question here is for you, Camden. As you mentioned, this is your first event since World Finals. It's the longest layoff of any driver competing here tonight. Do you feel realistically that there will be any rust on your wheels?
Yeah, man, no pressure, right? No pressure at all. But yeah, it's kind of one of those things. I've been racing for a really long time, so I'd hope to think that as soon as I make one little pass down the track, I'll knock some rust off, but it'll definitely be challenging. These are some of the best Monster Jam athletes in the world right here in Glendale, so it's going to be tough. It's going to be tricky, but I feel like we're up for the task, and we're going to go out there and do the absolute best we can, and hopefully take Amazing Spider-Man right out on top.
It's a big spot for both of them. A lot of pressure, a lot of excitement. We'll see how they handle it in just a little while, as they and 10 of our other drivers will compete in 3 competitions tonight, racing the Great Clip Skills Challenge and Freestyle. Points are awarded based on finish. 12 goes to the winner, and the driver with the most points at the end of the event is crowned the overall event champion. A lot of eyeballs in Glendale, Adam, a lot of eyeballs around the world watching this, so it is a pressure-packed situation for any driver. All of them would love to walk out of Arizona as the overall event champion. And speaking of Glendale, this track is incredible. They just unveiled it in practice yesterday. It's an inverted paper clip. So let's get the track talk. Adam, you've been on this dirt for a long time throughout your Supercross career. What can drivers expect tonight from State Farm Stadium?
Well, it's going to dramatically change. The start of this event will be nice and loamy and tacky. At the end of the event, it will be dry and hard packed. But what I want to talk about is this brand new paperclip style track that they're thinking about implementing next year in 2025. They will not be side by side. They will actually be looking at each other. So something that's interesting is coming out of turn 1, they will see each other, and then in the last turn, they will see each other again coming out of that last corner. So one of the big things is don't push too hard if you're behind, and if you're out front, don't make a mistake. Another huge hurdle here in Glendale is the size of this floor. When I get out here for Supercross, it is so big. I can't believe how much space. A lot of dead space in Freestyle. You got to make it up.
A lot of twists and turns here, man. Looking forward to the action. We saw it in practice yesterday. Great racing competition lays ahead. Our first competition of the night is JCB Racing. Yesterday in practice, it was Adam Anderson with the fastest time, 21.870. We'll see if that continues. One thing about Adam is he's debuting a brand new chassis here, Gravedigger 42. So Gravedigger 35 gets retired. We know how much not only he loved that track, but everybody that seemingly drove it loved that track. He has got this new driveline system underneath the truck. He's raving about it. What do you think Adam Anderson needs to do in Gravedigger 42 to continue times like that?
I mean, Adam Anderson just needs to keep doing what he does, and that's be a veteran, that's be a Gravedigger driver, and that's go full throttle in Freestyle. What Adam Anderson does is not because of the truck. It's because of his experience. It's because of the things he knows. It's because of his dad, his brothers, everybody that pushes him. Adam Anderson is a fantastic driver, and he's going to show out tonight.
We did see some carnage on the track in practice last night. Jamie Sullivan rolled in Thor, absolutely destroyed the front system there, the front housing, everything just kind of off of that. Now that they've been working on it all day, we saw Jamie Garner having some issues with his engine, but the track seemingly was unforgiving in practice. So how did drivers take what they learned yesterday and use that here tonight?
Well, they're going to have to talk to their crew chiefs. You know, it's a very difficult track. This is a brand new track to Monster Jam. It's the reverse paperclip. These drivers have not seen this track yet, so it's going to be difficult. They're going to have to find their points. But like I said, you got to rely on your crew chief. Something you have to do is go, hey, where are my points? Tell me this, tell me that. What can you tell me? Get on the brakes earlier, get on the brakes a little later. Which lane is going to be good? Which lane is developing better? Which lane has bad ruts? There's so many little nuances that these drivers have to do to be good. But yesterday, I think it was just implementing the new track. That's why you've seen so much carnage. Jamie Sullivan ripped the suspension completely off the front of that truck.
And with that, they have a lot of work to do over the course of the last 24 hours. If Jamie Sullivan has any issues from that suspension, what are her chances in this racing bracket? Because she's got Adam Anderson in round one. So you're going to see that Gravedigger 42 right out the gate against what we hope is a new suspension for Jamie Sullivan.
Yeah, well, it's going to be difficult for her no matter what, because Jamie Sullivan is got a new set of suspension. It's something she does not know. She's gonna have to adapt to that. Anytime you rip your bike apart or your Monster Jam truck and you have to redo it, it's so hard to get used to.
There's a JCB Racing bracket. Round one, Black Panther, El Toro Loco, Thor, Gravedigger, The Amazing Spider-Man, Monster Mutt, Rottweiler, Sparkle Smash, Jurassic Attack. Round two buys go to Vendetta, Velociraptor, Iron Man, and Wildside. We talked about that Thor Gravedigger matchup. Black Panther, El Toro Loco. That's going to be a good one because Bari Musauer has surprisingly struggled in 2024 in racing. You go back to the Stadium Championship Series, Adam. His record was 14-20 and then 13-9 internationally. There is our look at Bari in Black Panther, the first time on domestic soil, domestic dirt, and he goes up against Jamie Garner in El Toro Loco. So Black Panther in the red lane, and then El Toro Loco in the gray lane. This is going to be a good one to open up the night. We await our first green light. It is that inverted paperclip. They start on those pods. They got to go down the ramp, and it is in and out, ticky-tack turns here, and this dirt is always fun in Glendale.
I love it. Ticky-tack turns. That is a perfect terminology for this track. It is going to be so technical, but man, I just can't take my eyes off that Black Panther body.
Now, Bari has been so proud to represent this brand, Wakanda Forever. He loves Black Panther. He loves that truck, and he's been going back and forth between Zombie and Black Panther in the U.S. and internationally. Now he gets to do this in front of his home country of the United States. So here we go, Black Panther, El Toro Loco, as we await the first green light here at State Farm Stadium. It is JCB Racing. And Adam, I'm excited. I got goosebumps here. It's Marvel. It's Monster Jam. We are back. And what a view this is here of Black Panther, that sleek truck. You got to wonder if that's made of vibranium, or the way that thing looks. Here we go, and Jamie Garner is just stuck at the starting lines. El Toro Loco not moving at all. I mentioned the motor issues that Jamie's been having, and it looks like they're going to plague him. So Bari just sitting there as well on that deep turn.
To me, it looked like Jamie Garner might have not got the light. Actually, something was going on because Jamie Garner, if his motor went out again or he had another motor difficulty, he wouldn't have been able to throw that thing in reverse. So to me, this is maybe a starting issue with the lights or something going on. Maybe there's a communication issue with the officials.
Yeah, we're being told by our tech officials it was a restart here. So it was a light issue with Jamie Garner and El Toro Loco. So Bari Musauer had a great start. So you don't want to see that wasted.
Yeah, he had a fantastic
I mean, he had a huge lead there. That was a big lead. Right out the gate in our first race. So Bari Musauer going to restage Black Panther here, and Jamie Garner, El Toro Loco, going to rock his truck back as well. The round one yet to begin. Until we get that first green light for both drivers, we cannot officially start a JCB Racing competition. Black Panther now staging to the starting line. El Toro Loco has been set there. And we are ready to rock in Glendale. We are finally ready to go. JCB Racing, and we are off and running in Arizona. First corner, Jamie Garner goes high with that back wheel, and Bari Musauer is already into the turn.
Jamie Garner has a slight advantage. It looks like Jamie Garner spun out just a little bit out of turn two.
Look at this deep corner here for Bari Musauer. And he goes all the way up the ramp. Big time air is going to elevate. It's a transfer jump across the finish line, and Black Panther takes the win. So Bari Mosawa going to move on, and that means we give you the original Super Glue to the action replay.
Now, what I'm looking at in this replay is actually Jamie Garner went a little bit wide in that last turn, and that's why he came up short. Black Panther going through to the next round.
We await the times coming in as Bari Mosawa are going to get ready for round 2 against Mike Christensen in Vendetta. This deep floor of State Farm Stadium. The pit area here is so different because you're basically pitting on the track with these bumpers in front of it. So you get a great view of everything that's going on. You get to see every single nook and cranny of this track. You get to see every truck run. And that's why I think a lot of drivers love it here. This is a driver's building, a driver's track, and everybody usually pinpoints Glendale and State Farm Stadium as one of their favorites. There's the times, 23.026 for Black Panther, 24.430 for El Toro Loco. Next up, Adam Anderson, the 5-time World Finals champion in Gravedigger. There's a great look at Gravedigger 42, that brand new chassis. Adam, I asked Adam Anderson what his favorite part about this new truck. He's like, you know what I like? I like that it's green. That's all I can tell you. I love that this track is green. This truck is green. And there is Jamie Sullivan with a brand new suspension. And again, lighting systems plaguing the gray lane. Well, I've seen this before in some of the live events I've done. If they cannot get this right, what they're going to do is they're going to go to a manual start, which means they're going to have a tech official waving a flag to start them off the line. I've seen this happen before. If they cannot get the lights right on that side, then they're going to have to do it manually.
That'll be very interesting, especially because if there's 2 different tech officials that have to start because they're so far apart, how are they going to get that right?
Technology, we rely on it so much, but we rely on it too much sometimes, and there's things that go into effect that Mother Nature takes its toll, and we'll see what happens here. But here we go, Thor and Gravedigger. Jamie Sullivan has had a phenomenal second season, a second-year career for her, and she has taken leaps and bounds, and she is up against one of the best all-time in Adam Anderson.
Yeah, Adam Anderson just has this track dialed. He has his truck dialed. Big lead for Adam right now. He just needs to make no mistakes.
Big time air up over the finish line, floats it, lands it hard. Gravedigger going to get the win. And there goes Jamie Sullivan over the finish line. Finally, take a look at the Super Glue replay.
You can see Adam Anderson just airing it out. Comes up a little bit to the right side. Now, I think why he did that was because yesterday they were leaning to the left, and that's how Jamie Sullivan snapped off her front suspension.
Well, she did repeat that here in round 1 of racing. There's Adam Anderson going to head back to his stall as we await the official times to come in. We saw Bari Mosawa get that 23.026. There's the time for Gravedigger, 21.870. That is the fastest time so far in round 1, very close to the time he had in practice yesterday. So Adam, as you mentioned, does have this track dialed in, and that could pose a problem for the rest of the field as we move into round 2.
Well, he could have not only the track dialed in, but he could have the truck dialed in. I mean, yeah, it's a little bit different, but it's the Gravedigger chassis. He knows the suspension. And for a lot of these Marvel drivers, these are new trucks out here, so it could be difficult.
Jeff Souza, Monster Mutt Rottweiler. Jeff, the ultimate fill-in for Team Throttle Monster, gets the nod today, and he goes up against Camden Murphy in the Amazing Spider-Man. Camden, as you mentioned at the top of the show, the longest layoff of any driver. Adam, when you have to get back on your bike 3 months after you did last time, how do you feel as an athlete?
I can't even tell you how behind my reaction time and just predicting what I need to do is. It's so difficult, but for Camden Murphy, he's been doing this for a very long time. I expect big things tonight.
We got the lighting issues figured out. Jeff Souza goes on the brakes early, and that is an advantage for Camden Murphy. You can't give this guy an inch, he'll take a mile. And look at that corner from Camden.
Camden Murphy set that up so early. Camden Murphy looks like he is on point today.
Gets the air up over the finish line. They're going off to the left side. Jeff Souza, all kinds of problems on the far side in that red lane. Take a look at the Super Glue replay.
You can see Spider-Man here coming across the finish line. Jeff Souza having a lot of problems.
Camden Murphy gets his first racing win since World Finals, so a great way to start the bracket if you're Camden Murphy. No rust seemingly on the wheels of the Amazing Spider-Man Marvel Monster Jam truck. And Camden moves on to round 2. He will face Brandon Arthur, so we will get our first Marvel versus Marvel meeting in round 2. 21.980. 980 is the time for Camden Murphy, so that is second to Adam Anderson's 21.870. And Monster Mutt Rottweiler gets a DNF. That means we got One more matchup here in round one. Caleb Blood and Sparkle Smash. Adam, all this hype about Marvel, I think we forgot Sparkle Smash is here as well.
Well, you cannot forget about Sparkle Smash. This is one of the most anticipated trucks to Monster Jam. I love it. Everybody just seems to love it. Girl, boy, it does not matter. Caleb Blood was the perfect driver for this truck.
Dalton Weiner, the 2024 JCB Arena Racer of the Year. His record, Adam, 102-22.
Wow.
That is good.
That's amazing.
Made it far in the World Finals Racing bracket. Now he's got Caleb Blood here in round one. Dalton Weiner, no stranger to arena tracks, not many stadiums in his career, but he's proven he can drive on an arena or a stadium track, doesn't matter how big.
Little brake check coming in there for Dalton Widener. Yesterday, he was the third fastest in practice, and he looks great tonight as well.
Caleb Blood's got to go wide. Here comes Dalton Weiner in the gray lane. Big air over the finish line. Both of them make it. Dalton Weiner, Jurassic Attack, gets the win. Take a look at the super glue replay.
Dalton Widener just has the lead there, goes a little bit off to the left, and you can see where that other jump in that gray lane is. That's exactly where Jamie Gardner ripped off the whole front suspension. You have to be careful right there in that section.
23.155 is the time for Dalton Weiner. He moves on to round two to face Zach Gardner in Wildside. Those two met in round three at SoFi Stadium at World Finals, on Wildside on his way to that World Finals Racing Championship. So let's take a look at that bracket here. It's going to be Vendetta Black Panther, Velociraptor Gravedigger, Iron Man the Amazing Spider-Man, and Wildside Jurassic Attack Adam Anderson with the fastest time in round one, 21.870. But you also have to factor in that Adam does not get lane choice in his matchup with Devin Winfield. Devin gets lane choice by having the first round bye. So when you're in round one of racing, you want to get the fast time, you want to dial in the track, but at the end of the day, you're at the mercy of whoever you're facing in round two with that bye run.
Yes, in a way. You know, with Velociraptor coming in against Gravedigger, he might get lane choice, but he also just saw how fast Gravedigger was on that track. A 21.870 is absolutely blistering. But another great matchup that's coming up is Iron Man versus the Amazing Spider-Man. I mean, Brandon Arthur is absolutely on rails. He was second fastest in practice yesterday, and today, Spider-Man, Camden Murphy, throws down a 21.9, just a tenth of a second slower than Gravedigger.
So we have some activity happening on the track in Glendale. We see Mike Christensen's Vendetta on the pod in the gray lane, unopposed right now in the red lane. He's supposed to meet Bari Musauer in Black Panther. So Bari is right now under the bridge in Glendale, something going on with the truck. So Bari could be put on that 60-second clock. And if Bari can't compete, it would be the fastest non-winner of round one that would come back for another opportunity here in round two. There is your bracket: Vendetta Black Panther, Velociraptor Gravedigger, Iron Man the Amazing Spider-Man, and Wildside Jurassic Attack. What a match that's going to be down the end of the bracket. So four will advance to the semis, then we'll have our final matchup. The winner gets 12 points, and it's always very important to start strong. You want to get the win, but right now, Bari Musauer, in his U.S. debut of Black Panther, having some issues.
Yeah, if you can feel good at the beginning of the night, that momentum just carries over to the rest of the events. It just makes you happy, makes your crew chief happy. It just makes everything feel that little bit better. But again, part of Monster Jam, I've been doing this for a while now, and it seems like mechanicals are really the difference maker.
So just being informed by our tech officials that El Toro Loco will be coming back to replace Bari Musauer's Black Panther. So Black Panther unable to advance into round two, unable to compete. Jamie Gardner gets another shot here. You always have to be ready. Jamie Gardner in his truck, always ready to come back. And now we have a battle of two incredible independent racers.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a good match. It'll be a chance for Jamie Gardner to get a little bit more track time. He looked a little rusty when he first went out there. He just got a little bit too sideways coming off that second corner. It looked like he hit the throttle a little extra hard, and it looks like he's going to be in the opposite lane, so it might be a little better on that side.
Mike Christensen won racing win in San Diego earlier this year. His last event in Las Vegas, Nevada, he did win the racing competition, so Mike seemingly dialed in and ready to go. Jamie did not win a racing competition during the 2024 Monster Jam Stadium Series season. And here we go, Mike Christensen, Vendetta, Team Throttle Monster. Mike and Paula built an empire out there in Utah. Speaking of empires, Team Overboard Motorsports. Jamie Gardner, the head of that incredible team. Wildside, Black Pearl, Miss Overboard. Just two incredible armies of independent trucks out here in Monster Jam battling Jamie Gardner and Mike Christensen. So let's talk about the track again, Adam. It's starting to get beat up a little bit in round one. Round two is only going to add to that. What's the dirt going to do after all these trucks keep going over it?
I mean, you can see the dust coming up, and this is very typical for Supercross, Arizona, Glendale, anything you do in Monster Jam. This track just cannot hold water. It gets drier and drier as the night goes on. What you're going to see is these blue groove spots come up. It's going to be very hard packed.
We got some movement there on the pod. Mike Christensen, Vendetta moving to the starting line. He is staged, and we are running to rock for round two. Here comes Vendetta into that first corner of the gray lane, and there goes Jamie Gardner just clipping the pod, gets up over the ramp, keeps the momentum going.
He clips the pod on the inside, though. I like that from Jamie Gardner, but it looks like Mike Christensen has a slight lead right now.
Into the final corner we go. Jamie Gardner pushing it in the red lane. Big air for both drivers. That's close. I think El Toro Loco got it in the far red lane. Let's take a look at the super glue. Glue to the action replay.
It just looks like in that last corner, something happened for Mike Christensen. I don't know if he drove it in just a little too deep, but he lost so much time in that last corner. Jamie Gardner stayed tight like he did in turn one, and he made it happen.
So Jamie Gardner goes from getting eliminated in round one to winning in round two. 22.442 is the time as El Toro Loco becomes our first truck to make it to the semifinal round. El Toro Loco now moving his way back to the stall. That means we'll get two more trucks as we continue on with round two. This one will be Velociraptor and Gravedigger. So we see Velociraptor on the red lane. Devin Winfield out of Las Vegas, Nevada, the young rookie driver. He's been around Monster Jam. This kid has an amazing story. I had him on Inside Monster Jam. Went from being club help volunteer to a tech official to a ride truck driver before finding a home with Team Throttle Monster. And then he gets a dream matchup for him against Adam Anderson, who had the fastest time in round one. Devin Winfield is going to learn from one of the best to do it here in racing. And here we go, Gravedigger and Velociraptor for a spot in the semis.
I'm not sure if this is a dream matchup or a nightmare matchup, whatever you want to call it. Adam Anderson, perfect corner execution, but not a bad job on the opposite lane.
Devin's hanging in there with him right now. In the final turn, Devin Winfield is giving Adam Anderson everything he's got. Unfortunately, not going to be enough. Gravedigger gets the win, and you get the super glue replay.
All I can say is, wow, I am so impressed with Devin Winfield. That was an amazing run. To even be that close to Adam Anderson after clicking off that last time, wow.
22.341 for Gravedigger, a little slower than his round one time. That is still going to get him lane choice against El Toro Loco. So we got half the semifinal field set. Now we got to get to the other half. Up next is that all-marble matchup. Brandon Arthur in Ironman, a kid that came out of nowhere to take over Ironman on the International Series, gets the nod here in the States. Tough kid, a short course oval racer, got his start from Todd Ledoux. Reached out to Todd and said, hey man, I could go round and round. I want to do what you do. And Todd got him involved here. And now Brandon Arthur, really impressive, won the London racing competition when we debuted this a year ago. And now he's got to go up against Camden Murphy, who showed no rust in round one in The Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, absolutely no rust. I actually got a chance to talk to Brandon Arthur this week, and I thought something was very interesting. He went back to MJU to get a little practice, and guess who his mentor was? Camden Murphy. So it's the student versus the professor in this round. We'll see if he can blow that rust off from The Amazing Spider-Man, get back behind the wheel, and show the student how to get it done.
We'll see Brandon Arthur on the International Series 4 racing wins. 3 of those were timed. 11 and 12 was his record. We all know what Camden Murphy can do on the racetrack. We'll see if he is up to the task here in his second race back since competing at Monster Jam World Finals. It is Iron Man and the Amazing Spider-Man for a spot in the semifinal round. And here we go, both with great starts off the line, down the ramp and into that oval.
It looked like to me the Amazing Spider-Man, Camden Murphy, just slipped a little bit out of those ruts off the start. He's going to have to make up some time. Let's see how this last corner goes.
Brandon Arthur with the lead in that long straightaway around the final corner. Camden has made up some time. We're pushing to the finish. Brandon struggled to get around the last turn, and the Amazing Spider-Man gets it done.
It came down to the very last corner. Brandon Arthur just making a slight mistake, pushed it a little bit too hard into that last turn, over-rotated, hit the gas, spun just a little bit, and the Amazing Spider-Man gets the traction and the win.
We also get the fastest time of the night, fastest time of the weekend so far. if you include practice. Camden Murphy, 20.585, lightning fast pass for Camden Murphy. That should get him lane choice, but we will see what happens here with Jurassic Attack and Wild Side. You have your reigning and defending Monster Jam World Finals racing champion, Zach Garner, the kid who shocked the world, lit the world on fire, whatever you want to call it. Upset win after upset win at SoFi Stadium. You and I were there going nuts in the broadcast booth. Now he's got Dalton Wider. These two last met at SoFi Stadium where Wildside did take the win on his way to that championship, so this is going to be a good race.
This is going to be a fantastic race. Dalton Widener right now has track time. He has that extra little bit of knowledge. Let's see how this goes.
Zach Garner in the left lane, the gray lane, and it is Dalton Widener in the red lane.
Dalton has a slight advantage. He comes into the first corner, but Zach Garner nails that second turn.
Absolutely nailed it. Didn't even clip the pod at all. Here we go into the final corner. Both take it tight. Going to be a push to the finish line. We're seeing some of these drivers slow up after that turn on the red lane. Got to talk about that. Wildside gets the win.
Yes, this is what it's coming down to. In the red lane, the very last corner is so slick. The hard pack is coming up. These trucks are compacting the absolute heck out of this dirt. And what is going on is they're losing traction coming out of that last turn. You're going to have to do a little bit of flat track or even sprint car action where maybe you go wide, try to use that little bit of cushion out there to get some hookup and some drive to hit that finish line a little faster.
21.683 for Wildside. So you mentioned this earlier. You really have to have a big lead going into that corner because you're going to get slowed up, and we've seen that now 2 races in a row. Here's your bracket for the semifinal round. El Toro Loco up against Gravedigger, and the Amazing Spider-Man versus Wildside. How about the Garners representing here? You got 2 Garners. We could have an all-Fortville, Indiana final.
How awesome would that be if it was father versus son? But the race I want to watch, Gravedigger versus the Amazing Spider-Man. Oh my goodness, a replay of April. I can't wait to see who comes out on top.
Adam Anderson with lane choice grabs the gray lane. Jamie Garner in the red lane. Winner advances to the final round. We await a green light here in the semis. Fastest 4 on the track right now. Gravedigger off a little slower than the previous round into that berm corner.
Okay, so Jamie Garner has a slight lead, but you have to watch. Keep your eyes on Jamie Garner in this last corner. It's going to be very slippery. Does he go wide or go inside?
He's trying to go inside. He does tiptoe around inside. That might be what he needs. It's going to be close, but Adam Anderson again in the gray lane gets it done. Perfection on that pass. Take a look at the Super Glue replay.
Oh, man, this is a close race right here. It looks like Gravedigger's going to get it just by a little bit. Jamie Garner did exactly what he was supposed to do. He pushed a little wide in that last turn, got some traction, but he didn't have enough of a lead. Still a great time for a 22.017, but not enough to beat Gravedigger.
21.897 is the time for Adam Anderson. His previous time's 21.870 and 22.341, so he is faster than he was in round 2. That leads us to our final semifinal matchup. It's going to be Camden Murphy, the Amazing Spider-Man, coming off that 20.584. He's going to go up against Zach Garner in Wildside. So this is going to be a great matchup between Camden Murphy, who at this point, even though he's still a young driver, is a seasoned veteran in Monster Jam. And even though Zach Garner has been around for a few years, former Rookie of the Year Rising Star contender, he is still considered a young rising star in the sport.
Yes, he is, but unfortunately for him, he's in that red lane, and Camden Murphy has the gray lane. I think truly this is Camden's race. I think it's over for Zach Garner, to be honest, before he even starts because he's in the wrong lane. For me, what I want to watch is how fast can Camden Murphy go to get lane choice in this last race.
And here we go. Both trucks with great starts into the berm corner. And now they're going to come out. They're going to take this other turn here and then get in that straightaway. This is where you got to pick up the jets if you were Zach Garner.
Oh no, Camden Murphy knows he has to make up some time. He cut it a little close there.
Final turn here, Wildside turning inside. Whoa, what a finish we have there. That's the closest finish we've seen. Wildside cut it too close inside, goes cattywampus across the line, and let's take a look at the replay.
Zach Garner should have won this race. Oh my goodness, I think he does. I can't tell the difference, Scott.
Oh, we got to look at this again right here. It looks like maybe by an inch of that BKT tire. Wildside gets the win. Wild Side with a wild ride there in the end. Zach Gardner moving on. What a race. That lived up to the absolute potential and hype that we thought it would be, but Zach Gardner continuing this crazy run, 21.537 to 21.573.
Almost a full second slower than Camden Murphy's favorite time.
Our finals are set. It's going to be Adam Anderson and Gravedigger, Zach Garner and Wild Side. That is coming up next. It's the racing finals right here on Monster Jam. Monster Jam is brought to you by JCB, the official heavy equipment partner of Monster Jam. We are back now at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. We've reached the JCB Racing Finals. This is going to be a good one. We got Adam Anderson in the gray lane up against Zach Garner in the red lane. So Gravedigger versus Wild Side. Adam with a 21.897, Zach 21.573. He gets lane choice, and he chooses the red lane. What do you think about that?
Man, I spoke way too soon on the last matchup. I think I had too much confidence in that gray lane, and so did Camden. He came out of that turn. He's seen Zach Garner ahead of him. He said, oh, my goodness, what do I need to do? He pushed the truck too hard, tried to make up that time, and couldn't. Zach Garner is on fire. He's in the red lane. Look out.
Adam Anderson breaking in Gravedigger 42 with 3 straight wins. He beat Jamie Sullivan, Devin Winfield, and Jamie Garner. He got one Garner out of the bracket, trying to take the other out as well. But he's a World Finals racing champion. Here we go, Gravedigger versus Wild Side. Up high on the berm goes Adam Anderson, Zach Garner already into that second corner.
Gravedigger up on 2 wheels in the first turn and then enters wide. This is Zach Garner's race. He just needs to not make a mistake in this last corner.
Final turn, he takes it on a dime. Zach Garner goes high across the finish line, and Wild Side takes the win. Zach Garner, your 2024 racing champion. Take a look at the super glue. Glue to the action replay.
Zach Garner, you have established yourself as one of the fastest racers in Monster Jam. When you go out and beat Adam Anderson straight up, you are making a statement. Zach Garner with a huge win here tonight in Glendale.
21.399 is the time for Zach Garner. 21.399. He beats Adam Anderson's 21.755. Zach Garner's Wild Side Cinderella run continues. And coming up next, we will hear from our JCB Racing winner, Zach Garner. Wild Side won the race. We'll hear from him next on Monster Jam. Welcome back to State Farm Stadium in Glendale. We just saw an incredible racing final. Zach Garner, Wild Side, defeated Adam Anderson and Gravedigger in the race of the night. And there's a look at our BKT overall event leaderboard. 12 points to Wild Side, 11 for Gravedigger, 10 for El Toro. And we're getting our racing winner down on the track. We're going to go down to KCG for that interview here momentarily as we look to hear from our JCB Racing winner, Zach Garner and Wild Side. Send it downstairs to KCG.
You know what? It feels absolutely amazing to be able to come out here, pick up another win, especially over Adam. You know, I beat him in the second round World Finals over a 5-second penalty. I knew I had to come out and actually.
So racing, you are a reigning Monster Jam World Finals racing world champion, and you have defended that title by securing another victory here today.
You know what? It feels absolutely amazing to be able to come out here, pick up another win, especially over Adam. You know, I beat him in the World Finals over a 5-second penalty, so I knew I had to come out and actually physically beat him this time. So, you know, being able to come out here and win, especially here in Glendale, I love this place. You guys are absolutely amazing. Glendale, what'd you think?
They got a lot more action coming their way. Jamie, I got to ask you, how proud are you to see Zach secure another racing victory?
You know, watch this kid race. There ain't nothing better. You know, all the fans coming through the autograph line today kept talking about World Finals, World Finals, World Finals. That kid's got it. It shows right there it's not a fluke for sure. But you know the best part? I ain't crying this time, am I?
Well, Zach, a huge congratulations. A lot more action coming the way to these Monster Jam fans. Let's hear it for your Monster Jam Racing winner, Zach Garner, Wild Side.
So Zach Garner getting another racing win. Jamie Garner, always a doting dad. We saw his emotion at World Finals when Zach won the World Championship, almost inconsolable at times. And now again, still here supporting his son, still competing with his son, but a doting dad is Jamie Garner. He should be very proud of his son, Zach.
Absolutely. Jamie Garner is always very proud. You've seen him crying at the Monster Jam World Finals when he won, but you can see this last race here. Gravedigger just goes a little bit high and sets that corner up just slightly wide, and it looks like he gave Zach Garner a slight advantage there, and man, did Zach Garner make a perfect last turn where he could exit so far inside, get that race ramp just right, find the traction, and come away with the win.
Zach is quickly becoming a driver that you can't make a mistake on. Well, we see that with Tyler Menninga, Ryan Anderson, even Adam Anderson. Now Zach Garner is a driver that you really have to contend with, and if you make a mistake, he's going to make you pay.
Yes, absolutely, I agree. And one of the things that is so lethal about Zach Garner is yesterday, for instance, Scott, he qualified 5th in practice. And then when the lights come on, he's absolutely amazing. He turns up and gets it done.
Next up here in Arizona is the Great Clip Skills Challenge. In this competition, drivers can do a donut or they get 2 opportunities for their best skills attempt on 2 wheels. You're going to see some stoppies, poppers, wheelies, bicycles, and moonwalks. And fan score from the fans in Glendale at State Farm Stadium will determine the winner. You've had 2 years under your belt in Monster Jam to see some moves here. What do you like of the Great Clip Skills Challenge?
I mean, I always love a good moonwalk. I mean, there's a sky wheelie's always awesome, but I got to go with the moonwalk, Scott.
I like a good moonwalk as well. We've seen drivers really step it up, and I think the simulators have a lot to do with that. A lot of these drivers go home to their house. Bari has one at his house with a simulator. They get in it, and they can start really working on these moves because they get very limited practice in a truck. They can go to Monster Jam University and train in Paxton, Illinois. We saw Camden teaching out there, Brandon Arthur going. A lot of these drivers do get to go there and refine their skills, but realistically, they don't get a lot of seat time when it comes to this competition, so they have to take advantage of it. And I think things like that, being able to come here to our studio and have the tools and the material and the teaching to be able to do that really has stepped up this competition big time.
I think it has, but I think another thing that is so crucial about 2-wheel skills is it's not so much now about the single move. It's how do I implement some kind of combination? Do I get up on the pod? Can I get the popper and then the nose wheelie to moonwalk and then bring it back, get it back over, put it back on 2 wheels, and then kind of continuously do that like Tristan England has mastered. That is something that is so difficult. But you also got to throw in the bicycle. The bicycle is a very hard move, but something that I see a lot is it's very hit or miss. The dirt has to be perfect. The ramp has to be perfect. You have had to have actually practiced that, something in the simulator that just doesn't translate as well as that bicycle. And then now, because of Ryan Anderson, Adam Anderson, Tyler Menninga, you have to throw that into a combination move. So you can't just do a bicycle. You have to get that thing on 2 wheels and then turn it into a cyclone and come out of that.
It's this insatiable appetite from the fans. I want to see something new. And when you're a driver at the top of the order, going out first, second, third, you can do that. When you're down the bottom, you really have to do something special. You have to do that bicycle to moonwalk. You have to do that teeter-totter. You got to do that big crazy flip. You got to do what Armando Castro did at World Finals.
I was just thinking that.
What I want to talk to you about right now, but while we're getting ready for the Great Clip Skills Challenge, is fan scoring here with the Marvel trucks. Because you mentioned this when I wrote an article at MonsterJam.com. You said these Marvel trucks are very popular, and you would like to see how that influences fan scoring. If I'm a young kid and I love Thor, Thor's my favorite Marvel character, I don't know any other trucks, and I got a phone, I'm putting that up to 10 because I love Thor.
Yes, in a way. I think that one of the things is it's going to be so popular across the board. I think there'll be more even judging because it's not like, oh, I love Gravedigger or I love Jamie Sullivan in the Thor body. It's kind of like there's so many favorites out there. It's just, let's just vote everybody evenly.
Absolutely. I love that, and I love this truck. I love Thor. Jamie Sullivan rocking it right now to Christmas, Florida, right into a nose wheelie. So a great first attempt. Comes right off the base of that ramp into that nose wheelie.
One of the things about State Farm Stadium and this dirt here in Glendale that is so nice is you didn't see any of the dirt give way when Jamie was going to do that popper and kind of get that truck into the nose wheelie. It's very tacky dirt here. You can see every single mark from those BKTs as she sets it down. A great first attempt for Jamie Sullivan.
They get 20 seconds to keep that maneuver going. So they're being communicated with their crew chief, who literally seeing some of these crew chiefs in action, talking to them. They've got one eye on the watch, one eye on the phone on the stopwatch, and they're communicating to their driver. And here we go, the Super Glue to the action replay. One attempt.
Okay, so she comes in here, perfect speed, gets the popper just right. Gets the 12,000-pound truck balancing on those BKTs. You can see every little knobby mark in the dirt. You love to see it as a driver, as a supercross racer, as an athlete, but she just dances that thing, balances it perfectly. Great first attempt for Jamie.
And now Jamie Sullivan coming in here with attempt number 2. Going to like right on that tabletop. Comes back down into another nose wheelie. What you're looking for here is a 180-degree angle of the truck. You want to see those back 2 wheels angled perfectly with the front in symmetry. And she's going to try to moonwalk this thing back up.
Yeah, but she wants to try to get the combo move. You've seen her right there hit the brakes, try to get that truck back up into a wheelie on that landing. She wanted to do something different than the first round. Most of the time you're playing it safe in the first round, do something a little more risky in the second round. As we look at the Super Glue Good reaction replay, Jamie gets that truck up into the nose wheelie, gets it balanced right where she likes it, lets the back of the truck kind of float down here so she can throw it into reverse. And then what she was going for was get it up that step-up ramp backwards, get that truck to kind of sit up, those front BKTs bounce, get into a wheelie and get the combination, but not the execution she wanted.
Scores coming in for Jamie Sullivan, 7.481. It's not a bad score. Do you agree with that?
Yes and no. It definitely isn't a bad score, but it's the first one out, so that's kind of setting the bar for everybody. So you'll kind of see everybody else get judged from that 7 score. We'll see how the rest of the things play out.
Jamie Sullivan, 2 successful attempts. As we continue on the Great Clips Skills Challenge, this is the second competition here from Glendale, Arizona. First competition of the night ended moments ago, JCB Racing. And it was Zach Garner taking the win. Next up, Monster Mutt Rottweiler now coming out of the pit area. This is going to be Jeff Souza. Jeff is the ultimate fill-in driver for Team Throttle Monster. This guy had a seat with them, and now he just comes in when they need him. Any truck, they have an opening, and Jeff is available. He can slide in. He has a tile business with his son, Hunter, who also drove for Team Throttle Monster in California, so he's really focused on that and family. But Jeff loves revving it up, and we're going to see a donut here in Monster Mutt Rottweilers.
Yeah, but this is a very good option, especially in Glendale. You can see the hard-packed dirt. He's going to get a great rotation. Gets a little bit of dust for special effects there. I like it.
Got to have something at the end, a little pizzazz moment there. Nice donut there, nice and easy. We like that. We're going to see the original Super Glue. Go to the action replay.
Comes in, just hits that rear steer nice and early, finds an open space, hits the throttle hard, gets a clean, tight rotation. Throwing a little bit of dust at a Monster Mutt Rottweiler.
Very dusty here in the desert. The dirt, tacky during the racetrack. We talked about the sticky tack turns. Now it seems like it's going to make a dust bowl here in Arizona.
Yeah, I mean, it's 106 degrees outside when the track workers have to bring that dirt in. It is so dry. To get the moisture in the dirt and keep it in the dirt in Arizona, it's just so difficult. 6.651.
Thank you, Adam. Appreciate that. Didn't take long. We're 2 trucks. Two trucks into the second competition. All right, here's Caleb Blood in Sparkle Smash. It has been the summer of Sparkle Smash, and now Caleb Blood going to try to continue that here into the fall months. 7.481 is the score to beat. Sparkle Smash, widely popular amongst Monster Jam fans, young, old, boys, girls. This truck became a toy from Spin Master, took the world by storm. And at World Finals, we saw this full-size thing for the first time. And now Caleb Blood rocking it all summer long, trying to flip it up. And can't get it up over the cars, but she did get a nose wheelie on attempt number 1.
Caleb Blood seems to have a difficult time with these 2-wheel skills challenges. You can see she's very heavy on the throttle, which plays such a great part in her freestyle runs. We love to watch them. But as you can see in the 2-wheel skills, when she jabs that throttle like that, it's so hard to keep 12,000 pounds balanced up on 2 wheels. But a nice first attempt.
Step number 2, there's our first look at the Morgan & Morgan backflip ramp. Caleb Blood rests the back 2 wheels up on top of that trench box container. We've seen many drivers attempt this and many different options of what they've done. We've seen backflips in this competition. Kayla, what was she trying to do there? Whatever it was didn't work.
I mean, she was definitely going for the maximum moonwalk. That's the signature Tom Mentz move. Didn't execute, didn't quite get it where she wanted it. You can see at the top of that trench box, it kind of had like a little TP of dirt, and she was trying to dig in there to get some pop off the rear wheels. But this is her first attempt here. Just a little bit jerky with the throttle. Can't quite execute.
So 3 trucks have gone so far, 9 more to go. As we continue on with the Great Clip Skills Challenge, we saw Jamie Sullivan come out in 4 with 2 successful attempts at the 4.236 for Sparkle Smash. We got a donut out of Monster Mutt Rottweiler. And here comes Mike Christensen in Vendetta. We discussed a little bit Mike's racing prowess in the 2024 Monster Jam season. He struggled in the other two competitions. He missed 7 freestyle competitions, multiple skills competitions, just couldn't keep the truck together in these 2 skills competitions at the back end of the show. Now Vendetta looking pristine, feeling good as well, and Mike is ready to rock it here.
Going for a little slap wheelie attempt there. Not sure if they're going to count that as the first attempt, but yeah, a lot of problems last year for Mike Christensen. They're definitely trying to work out the bugs with that big old engine they put in that thing. Mike Christensen wanted so much horsepower last year that he kept blowing up motors and having so many issues with the drivetrain and so many different things trying to keep that thing together with that much horsepower, one of the most amounts of horsepower in Monster Jam.
Here we go, horsepower at its finest. Mike Christensen comes off into a perfect nose wheelie. He's got the headlights straight down into this desert dirt, and he's going to try to edge it back a little bit, back on all 4 wheels. And Mike Christensen with a successful attempt here in the Great Clip Skills Challenge. So they did count that first attempt. Here's a super glue to the action replay.
So here he goes. He's going to jump off right here. He's going to try to get a slap wheelie, and then you can see him hit the throttle very hard, trying to get that thing up, the Barry Musauer signature move. And then here, just going for the nose wheelie, maybe trying to get a moonwalk, but stalls it out just for a second for the crowd. We'll see how that score, see what that score gets him.
Score to beat 7.481 for Jamie Sullivan, 6.427 for Vendetta. So the lead remains with Thor. Here comes Devin Winfield in Velociraptor. So big difference in this competition, Adam, between a skills challenge in an arena with a 6-sided pod and a skills challenge in a stadium with a big deep floor and multiple obstacles. What do you do here for Devin Winfield?
Keep it simple. You know, that's one of the hardest things is in the arenas, you just don't have very many options. You're going into the arena, you don't have that much space. You're doing what you can with what you got. And here, there's so much room out there. This is the biggest stadium in Supercross and in Monster Jam, biggest floor. So it looks like you have a lot, but it's a lot of the same things that you're going to be using. So just focus on what you can do. Keep it simple. Do what you know.
Looking for a popper here, trying to get those back 2 wheels to pop up over that ramp. I'm not sure if they're going to count that. He did attempt it. He went back up again for another attempt as well. Couldn't get anything there.
Something's going on. It looks like maybe he's having a problem with his transmission, throwing it in reverse.
Something to watch here as we head into halftime after this competition. Right now, Devin Winfield trying to get something going in this competition to get a score. There he goes. He's got his nose wheelie right into a stoppie. Does keep it on a dime. Perfect stoppie execution. Back into a moonwalk.
He gets it into reverse there, so I'm not sure what was going on before. Maybe he just didn't like that ramp, but gets the moonwalk. Here's that combination move that we were talking about. Doesn't quite execute there, but good, solid first attempt.
Getting an update on Black Panther fuel pressure, keeping Barry Musauer from advancing into the racing competition. We have not seen Black Panther on the track since round 1 of racing, so something to monitor throughout the rest of the event.
Try to get a little crab walk there. You see what he was trying to do is get only the rear wheel on that jump or that jammer and pop the rear of the truck up. That's something new I'd like to see, but didn't execute there. And then here he is with his first attempt. Gets a popper off there, gets into the nose wheelie. Nice reverse moonwalk, solid run.
Lead remains with Thor, 7.481. As we await the score for Velociraptor here, Devin Winfield spent a lot of time out on this track trying to get multiple moves in. Was able to finally get a good one, 6.188. That puts Velociraptor currently in 4th place. Now we get our first look in the skills challenge of Brandon Arthur in Ironman. Brandon's had a lot of time in this truck overseas internationally. His last events, Glasgow, Scotland, did not walk away with a competition win, looking for his first skills win of the 2024 season. I don't think there'd be a bigger spotlight to do it in than right here.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to win, you definitely want to get it on domestic soil, and you want to get it in front of the hometown crowd here in Arizona, where you're first debuting Monster Jam. It would be such a big moment for Brandon to get that win.
Comes right off that ramp into a nose wheelie moonwalk combo. Going to try to get it right up over that dip. And then nice nose wheelie on the backside moonwalk combo as well. So didn't quite get the back two wheels up at the angle, still able to get the front wheels to carry the truck in reverse across that ramp.
Yeah, so in my opinion there, he got the trick, but he just didn't get it to its fullest potential. I'm sure the crowd are going to judge him pretty harshly on that, especially from what we've seen so far.
And he's going for a maximum moonwalk. We saw Kayla Blood not hit that on her attempt as we look at the replay here for Brandon's first attempt.
Hits the brakes very hard, gets it done. Gonna back up there on that Morgan & Morgan backflip box. Try to get that thing.
This maneuver coined by the Professor Tom Mentz. He's going all the way up, and he's able to get it. He wasted no time at all. Didn't stop the wheels on the backside of that container. Instead, he just goes right up, lets the momentum carry him off into this nose wheelie.
Yeah, this is going to bode very well with the fans. This is something that they haven't seen. And he learned from Caleb Blood that it just wasn't going to work getting those back wheels on top of the trench box. So he did it a little bit different, and he executed perfectly.
Take a look at the Super Glue replay here for Brandon Arthur coming right off this dip.
Gets a nice little pop. Gets those rear BKTs up in the air nice and solid. You can see those throwing it in reverse right there. Gets a little bit of spin on that dry Arizona dirt. And then here's his second attempt. Pops it up off the Morgan & Morgan backflip ramp. Gets that thing walking out. Throws it in the nose wheelie to moonwalk. Back to nose wheelie. Little combination action.
Scores coming in here for Brandon Arthur and Ironman as he tries to take the lead away from Thor. 8.205, he's done it. The kid's got the lead, so Brandon Arthur comes in, uses the container to his alliance, literally walked that thing right up and just got it. Just used it to his advantage and took the lead, and now Dalton Widener has got to come out and top that. We'll see what Dalton can do. Another driver from the arenas. We saw Dalton at World Finals. He was able to get that automatic bid out of Arena Championship Series West that was won by Gravediggers Matt Cody. Matt handed off the bid to Dalton, who was the highest placing driver that had competed the entire series. So Dalton with a great moment at World Finals, now trying to shine in Glendale here in front of everybody watching around the world on the YouTube channel, MonsterJam.com, Fast TV. We're all over the place tonight, Adam.
Yeah, we are. I think one of the things that's difficult for Dalton right now, though, is the fans have seen exactly this trick. They've seen it off that exact ramp. He puts it into a nose wheelie there, gets a nice popper. Oh, that's a new little move right there. Hits the rear steer, gets that little bit of combination. Every little extra amount counts. Always better talk to his crew chief there, walking it back. This is the best nose wheelie to moonwalk attempt we've seen so far.
Yeah, he likes the crab walk, and what we might see on this second attempt is him taking that steering wheel out the window. He loves to do that. He's got 15 skills wins on the 2024 Series Championship season.
And so what Scott's talking about is he actually has to pop the steering wheel. There's a little clip, and he has to pull the steering wheel off, and he'll put it out the window. That's how comfortable he is. But you can see with this nose wheelie, he gets that rear steer to the left, to the right, getting a little fancy for these fans here in Glendale.
Yeah, we've been following this kid all season long on Arena in 30, and he does it literally every time. Just pops that steering wheel off, pulls it out the window, shows off. And we'll see if he does it right here. Another nose wheelie for Dalton Widener. There's a crab walk. Toggling that rear steer and the front steer opposite sides, getting a nose wheelie, continuing that momentum, edging the truck out. And he does have this, and he throws it out.
Oh, he throws the steering wheel.
He throws it out.
Oh, my goodness, I love it.
I'll tell you, man, he must have heard me and topped it. I'm not holding it. How the heck is he going to steer the thing off the track? They got to get out.
This man is steering wheel
get
back.
out and hand it to him. Just threw that thing on the ground right here. Wow.
Oh, my goodness, I have to see this again. Okay, so he hits the rear steer right here. He walks that thing out.
He's getting it. He's going to pick it up himself and pop it back on.
Get the crew chief or a track official out there to get that.
We got
man.
Mason Paul out there to grab that steering wheel, pop it back in. What a move, man. That's something we haven't seen. I've seen everybody hold it out. I've never seen somebody throw it out like a Frisbee on the ground.
I mean, somebody needs to get him the first place trophy and his steering wheel while they're at it.
I'll tell you what, that would be a collector's item if that thing ended up with a fan tonight. That would be one of a kind. The first ever steering wheel throw from Dalton Widener in his career, and he takes the lead with that 8.856. So the fans love the showmanship. It's not always just about hitting the maneuvers and execution. It's about showmanship. You gotta show them something, and Dalton Widener did just that. So 8.856 is the score. There is our current leaderboard. Jurassic Attack with the lead, Iron Man in second, Thor third, Monster Mutt Rottweiler fourth, Vendetta in fifth, and Velociraptor in sixth. That rounds out our top half. Up next, Jamie Gardner, El Toro Loco. We saw Jamie earlier tonight in JCB Racing get a second opportunity to come back in. He was defeated by Black Panther, came back into the bracket, and then beat Vendetta, and then lost to Gravedigger. So Jamie Gardner up and down ninth to start. Would love to take the lead here in the Great Clip Skills Challenge. And one thing we see out of El Toro Loco that the fans love is the smoke coming out of the nose. And you and I off air, we were watching some clips of Overboard in Kansas City. He's now modified his Overboard body to do the same thing. This man, being an El Toro Loco, he can't not have the smoke coming out of the front end anymore. Has to happen.
I mean, you got to have it. It's a fan favorite for sure. It looks like Jamie Gardner's backing up to an interesting spot on the Morgan & Morgan backflip, or he's going for a big air, maybe a sky wheelie.
Yeah, he's going to try to hit this thing hard. Here comes Jamie Gardner, El Toro Loco.
There
Sky
it
wheelie,
is.
big time air. Pogo bounces it all the way across, gets the front and down, clears the tabletop. That FMX ramp, complete jump, complete control, and a big time sky maneuver for Jamie Gardner, El Toro Loco.
Okay, so he comes into the step-up ramp, and the key to this trick is to really hit the throttle in the air and get those front wheels up. Why it's a two-wheel skill is because it's called a sky wheelie. So if you just jump level, it's not really a two-wheel skill at all, but if you get that thing straight up in the air like Jamie Gardner did, man, that is a cool trick to watch flying through the air with that front end up.
So we got the big air power. Now we might see some finesse here from Jamie Gardner as he sits right up on top of that ramp, now going for the reverse stoppie. And now he's got it right back on the wheelie bar. If he could keep this thing there, no, go for a wheelie combo, trying to get it back up the ramp, and just runs out of room.
Oh, that was looking really good. I loved his first attempt, and then his second attempt was looking like a top 3 for him, but makes a slight mistake. Jamie Gardner's probably going to come up short here.
Super Glue replay. Here's that big sky wheelie.
Coming in the sky wheelie. Oh, he hits the wheelie bar. My back. I'm going to need some Advil or something after that.
That's just because you're old, man.
It is, huh? Comes in, gets a nice wheelie here. Kind of parks it on the wheelie bar, just saying, hey, I got this, no problem. But unfortunately, hits a little bit of dry dirt and has to set it down.
Well, the fans love the sky wheelie, 8.498. That moves El Toro Loco up to second place. You see some of these trucks now in this competition moving outside, out of the outside pit area here at State Farm Stadium. That's because halftime is coming up, so now they will have their entire repertoire of tools, their full arsenal, ready to make some second half adjustments to get ready for freestyle. And here is Camden Murphy in the amazing Spider-Man great in-cab view. There, the young man out of Itasca, Illinois. 8.856 is the score to beat. And Camden Murphy riding in style. I need to get that visor down, though.
Yeah, he definitely does. But I want to kind of revert back to Jamie Gardner's score and why he got such a good score. You know, you see so many people, and it's so important the position that you are in these two-wheel skills. If you're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You have to do something different. All Jamie Gardner did was go out there and perform a sky wheelie that was a little bit different for these Monster Jam fans, and it just wowed them enough to get that big score. So right now, Camden Murphy, it's going to be very key that he doesn't go out and do the same exact thing on both attempts so he doesn't get a low score.
Camden Murphy making his fourth start in Glendale. He was here on April 27th earlier this year. Best finish here, second overall. He does have 2 skills wins here, 2024 and 2019. Right off into a nose wheelie onto that drop.
Okay, the key here is Camden, when he goes to do this combination move, because that's what he's going to want to do. He's going to want to drive this thing back up that freestyle ramp. He has to make sure it is very, very vertical. Oh, sets it down. Maybe something was wrong. Maybe that was just a first safe attempt.
Camden Murphy competed in Bakugan Dragonoid all season long. Now finds himself in the amazing Spider-Man as we take a look at the original Super Glue to the action replay.
Comes off, I wonder if he set it down because he knew he was a little bit crooked there. You see how the front end was a little bit to the left. Maybe he wasn't comfortable getting the combination move on that freestyle.
Now he's going up for the maximum moonwalk attempt here, possibly. A lot of question marks for 2025 for Camden as to what he's going to drive when the schedule announcements were made. He has a TBA next to his name, so stay tuned for that. Right now, all focus on the amazing Spider-Man and Camden Murphy approaching the Morgan & Morgan backflip ramp with a lot of momentum, gets it right up into that nose wheelie and then stops it. Complete control here, 1,500 horsepower, 12,000 pounds, and Camden Murphy right now is the boss.
I cannot even describe to you how difficult it is to do what Camden Murphy just did. When he came up to that backflip ramp, so fast. To get that thing under control and balanced with all those little twitchy movements is incredible. Camden Murphy going for 2 solid runs in two-wheel skills. Maybe he thinks that's going to get him a score that's going to get enough to win the event overall. Maybe it's not about two-wheel skills. Maybe it's about that event overall championship. You can see coming off that trench box, same thing that Brandon Arthur did, popped it up, got it nice and steady, very controlled, and I think that's what you're looking for as a fan.
Absolutely. Camden right now third in the point standings for the overall event championship after racing. Taking the lead here will go a long way in securing a top spot for him going into freestyle. Amazing Spider-Man making his way out into the tunnel area. 8.517. So not quite enough to take the lead. He does jump up to second. Dalton Wider with that steering wheel, that throw, that spectacular throw. He was like he was Kyler Murray throwing a touchdown here.
That's exactly what it was.
And here comes Adam Anderson at Gravedigger, finished second in JCB Racing. Gravedigger 42 in his first attempt at a Great Clip Skills Challenge maneuver.
Okay, what do you think is going to happen here, Scott? Do you think this is a bicycle? I'm going to say bicycle.
He's going to test this thing out, man. You know that he and Ryan love doing the bicycles here. Ryan is a little more hooked on the bicycle. Adam likes to do some slap wheelies as well, but right here, textbook bicycle from the Digger. Gets it up on 3 wheels, though, too. He rocked that front right wheel out. Not a lot there on the bicycle, though.
See, and that's what I was talking about with the bicycle a little earlier. It's so difficult. If you don't have the dirt right, if you don't have the right ramp, it can go so wrong so fast. And yeah, he did get a good bicycle, but the execution wasn't there. He didn't get that thing fully up on those side BKTs, and he didn't get a combination move, so he has to execute now on this second run.
And he goes back to the well again, one too many times. Again, not much on the bicycle. Trying to make something happen at the end, up on that ramp, and that's going to do it. 2 attempts, 2 bicycles for Adam Anderson.
Now, I think it is a very smart decision from Adam Anderson to try to change it up, give the fans something different, but I don't know if it's going to be able to beat Dalton Widener when he threw that steering wheel out the front window with the execution of those bicycles. We'll have to see.
We wait to score here for Adam Anderson at Gravedigger. Jurassic Attack has the lead. That score 8.856. .614 for Adam Anderson. That's going to drop the Amazing Spider-Man to third. Adam takes over second. Dalton Wider has the lead. That brings us to Wildside and Zach Gardner, a JCB Racing winner. We still don't have an update yet on Black Panther, but theoretically, most of this competition, the racing winner goes last. So not really a good sign for Black Panther right now.
Yeah, I'm not sure we're going to see Bari back. We will hope and pray for the best for him with his truck, trying to get that thing back together. But the man on the move, the man with the momentum, Zach Garner, 2-wheel skills.
11 skills wins on Arena Championship Series East in 2024. Will compete on Stadium Championship Series West in 2025. So he will come back to this building once again. His last Glendale start was back September 20th of 2023, and he takes advantage of the container, the Morgan & Morgan backflip ramp, and now we got the rear steer rocket again. Crab walk in action here from Wildside.
I love that drone footage. Great angle, going to walk this thing all the way out. Right now he's talking to his crew chief. How close am I to that wall right there? How much more can I go? Look at the stall on that. This could take the lead just by this first run. Sets it down so gently. The control that this kid has. This is talent right here. You are watching talent.
We are watching talent, Adam, but we're seeing the same move over and over again from different drivers. They're just doing the nose wheelie, and they're keeping it up. I don't care if you keep it up for 19 seconds or 20 seconds. We've seen this now 4 times.
Yeah, but in a way, I do care how long you can keep that thing going, because it tells these fans, I have control of what's going on. I am a better driver. I have more, I don't want to say more talent, but more skill behind the wheel to be able to control this truck. I'm tuned in. If he can get 2 solid runs here with the bicycle, turns into it.
Slinky bicycle, and he just runs into that pod. So he took it too tight there. Doesn't have a whole lot of room. You know, Zach's a guy that is also a showman. I've seen Zach on many arena events in the donut competition eating donuts. He throws a box of Dunkin' Donuts out as we take a look at the Super Glue replay.
See, now with this right here, he does that. He gets it popped up. He throws the rear steer, gets a little combination, kind of stalls it out. But I think this was a really good first attempt, and I was trying to back him and say, okay, this is solid. This can get it done. But when you come with a bicycle that's that short on your second attempt, it's not good enough. You have to come back to back with 2 great attempts if you want to beat Dalton Widener.
Score is in 7.829 for Zach Gardner. Wild side, no Black Panthers, so Bari's still having issues with his truck, and the fuel pump will keep you updated before freestyle. That means Dalton Widener, Jurassic Attack, will win the Great Clip Skills Challenge. Coming up on the backside of this break, we'll be here from our skills winner. Stay right where you are. More Monster Jam Live from Glendale is next, right after this. Monster Jam is brought to you by Great Clips, the official hair salon of Monster Jam. Download the Great Clips app and check in online today. Welcome back to Glendale, Arizona. We just finished up the Great Clip Skills Challenge. Dalton Widener, Jurassic Attack with a big win, throwing the steering wheel out for the exclamation point, and we are going to hear from our winner. We're going to go back to Glendale to State Farm Stadium to KCG and Dalton Widener.
Dalton, this is a monumental moment for you because this is your first stadium competition outside of Monster Jam World Finals. And not just that, you've secured your first stadium victory. A huge congratulations to you.
Man, I am pumped up. Didn't go how I wanted it to in racing. I felt like I was pretty fast, but man, Zach Gardner got me. I am so glad that I got out there and did what I do best and just balanced that 12,000-pound dinosaur up on the front tires and dug that front horn in the dirt. What'd you guys think? You had fun or what?
These fans are loving the action, and they've got a lot more coming their way. So coming up next, it is the competition that so many of our fans have come here to see, and that is Monster Jam Freestyle. Talk to us about how you're going to carry that momentum into this next competition to hopefully secure another victory.
Oh, man, I think I'm first out, so, man, I am just going to beat that dinosaur into the ground. I haven't been able to come out there and stretch the legs on that thing in a long time, so you're going to see Jurassic Airlines make a return, and, man, it's going to be a good time.
Let's hear it for your Skills Challenge winner, Dalton Widener, Jurassic Attack.
Great win for Dalton Widener. So Dalton does not have a whole lot of stadium experience. He comes in here, he wins a Great Clips Skills Challenge. That's a big moment for him. He stepped up to the plate and hit a home run.
Yeah, absolutely. And he knew exactly what he was doing when he threw that steering wheel out the window. That is such a big moment for Dalton Widener. You can see right here, he just hucks it right out of the front window.
Man.
I mean, how can you not absolutely love that? And I said it before. Somebody grab his steering wheel and that first place trophy.
Yeah, absolute force. It wasn't even just a slight toss. I mean, he threw it down. We're going to take a look now at our BKT overall points standings after 2 competitions. Adam Anderson with 2 second-place finishes. He's got 22. Camden Murphy and J.B. Gardner each with 19, as well as Dalton Widener, who jumps up into that 3rd-place tie. Wildside as well with 19. Brandon Arthur and Ironman consistently with 16. We got a jumble here in the middle. It's anybody's game. The Target Halftime Report is next right here on Monster Jam Live from Glendale, Arizona. Monster Jam is brought to you by Target. Shop Marvel Monster Jam toys at Target today. Speaking of Target, it is the official Target halftime show here in Glendale. We've had 2 competitions so far in State Farm Stadium. We have a jumble on the leaderboard. Adam Anderson with 22 points, and then everybody seemingly with 19 after that. It started with racing, and it ended the same way it ended in L.A. at SoFi Stadium with Zach Gardner winning the racing championship. He had that phenomenal final against Adam Anderson and Gravedigger.
Yeah, Zach Gardner has established himself as a force to be reckoned with. I just can't believe how good this kid is under the lights. I think he is pushing the next generation of Monster Jam drivers. This is going to be the kid to watch. He's not doing it in a Gravedigger truck. He's not doing it in a Marvel truck. He's doing it in his own truck, Wild Side. He's going fast, and there's no denying it.
And here is that final race. Look at this corner there from Zach Garner. Absolute perfection. It was that corner that lost a lot of drivers the race in that red lane. Zach dialed it in. It's the same thing we saw in LA, where he took the lane that nobody else was dominating and he made it his own and dominated. He did it in this fashion and won the JCB Racing competition. Also in that competition, earlier in the bracket in round 2, we saw the first Marvel versus Marvel matchup. Brandon Arthur and Ironman, who had the first round bye, took on Camden Murphy and the Amazing Spider-Man. Camden in that race had the fastest time of the night, 20.584. Absolute domination in his own right as we take a look here at Camden Murphy on the racetrack.
Yeah, Camden this is actually the race before, but Camden has just been on absolute rails. He knocked the rust off. It doesn't matter that Camden Murphy hasn't been driving since World Finals, but in typical Camden fashion, why can this man not get it done? Camden, please get it done for us. You're in a brand new truck. You have a new start. There's so many great things going for you. All he has to do is execute that big moment. I would have liked to see Brandon Arthur go on and not quite and be in that bracket with Camden, but sometimes that's how the cards fold.
Brandon is having a solid night. So he got 16 points. That's 6 off the lead. Anything can happen in freestyle. We will preview freestyle here in just a little while during our Target halftime report. But we're only just beginning here at State Farm Stadium. It is live, you and I live to the world. We're on YouTube, monsterjam.com. We're on Fast TV, our Fast channels. We have Vizio Plus. We have Plex TV. We have Pluto TV. We're everywhere.
got all the channels.
I know, we're everywhere, man. Mav TV, you name it. But it's been a great start to the evening. It's Marvel and Monster Jam. It's living up to the hype. I do hope we get to see Black Panther back out on the track for freestyle, though.
Yeah, I do. I really do hope so as well. Bari should have been a contender tonight. He was one of the favorites from a lot of people. That Black Panther truck, he has driven that thing so much internationally and now domestically. He has so much time in that truck. He should have been just a absolute ace in the hole. But unfortunately, in Monster Jam, part of the deal, we have truck breakages. These things happen, and you have to deal with them the best you can. And as these drivers do, they go, and the more experienced drivers will know what's going wrong. But unfortunately, sometimes you just can't avoid it.
Well, listen, there's a lot of things you can't avoid here, and truck run-ins are unavoidable. Bari, when he's in Zombie, seems to avoid them most of the time, but right now, Black Panther having all kinds of issues. I mentioned at the top of the program that this is the first of 3 historic Marvel Monster Jam events, and the next one is coming up on Saturday, October 19th. You can join us right here for more live Marvel Monster Jam action. This one's going to be from NRG Stadium in Houston, the rodeo capital of the world. Adam and I will be right here on the call once again. We look forward to seeing you right here for what's sure to be an incredible night. And Adam, if that's not enough for everybody, one weekend later, Saturday, October 26th, we're going to be live from AT&T Stadium in Arlington. That is the following Saturday. More Marvel, more Monster Jam, more live stream action. Make sure to mark your calendars. Join Adam and I as we bring you Marvel Monster Jam action from the Lone Star State. We are just getting the ball rolling here in Glendale. More from the Target halftime report is coming up next. We'll see you right back here with more Monster Jam Live.
Reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the express written consent of Feld Motorsports, Inc.
We are back at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona, home to the NFL's Arizona Cardinals. Tonight's home for Monster Jam Live, and it has been a phenomenal night so far as we welcome Marvel and Monster Jam to the United States for the first time after an incredible year competing internationally. Speaking of internationally. Monster Jam is not just in Glendale tonight. We have events in Mexico City all throughout the weekend. Those were also available on the live stream. Some great action in Mexico City. The racing competition won by Cody Saucier, defeating Ryan Anderson and Son of a Digger. So a classic battle between Dragon and Son of a Digger. I saw that battle all the way back at the Monster Jam All-Star Challenge in 2019. Cody Saucier won a racing championship there. But Cody is a guy that has been around for a very long time, an established veteran in the sport. Ryan Anderson, a 4-time World Finals champion. Cody arguably is maybe the fastest driver to never win a World Finals Racing Championship.
Yes.
He's an arena racer, primarily 2023 Arena Racer of the Year, 2022 Arena Racer of the Year, excuse me. And he's just a guy that continues to race and win, and he can beat anybody. But to be able to go out to Mexico City, and there's the race right here, to go out to Mexico City on this arena-style track and get a big win against a guy like Ryan Anderson, even after all these years competing, has to be a huge thrill for a guy like Cody Saucier.
Yeah, it's a big deal. Anytime you beat anybody with the last name Anderson, it is a huge deal. But more so for Cody Saucier, just like you said, he's been around the sport for so long, and you would think he'd have World Finals championship after World Finals championship, but the moment just wasn't there for him tonight, getting it done against Ryan Anderson.
Armando Castro got it done. El Toro Loco winning the Great Clips 2-Wheel Skills Challenge. Take a look at that crab walk right there. Just absolute perfection on the balance beam of this Monster Jam truck. At 12,000 pounds, he's balancing with a front steer and a rear steer, keeping it absolutely perfect.
Yeah, and on top of that, it's really torquing on the truck, on the frame, because all that weight is kind of shifting to one side. So the balance point is going to be a little bit different. Armando Castro has truly mastered the 2-Wheel Skills Challenge. Definitely one of those guys that's a little bit better, but I think that's because he's been in the Arena Series and won so many championships over there. Armando Castro, not a new guy.
And he is the World Finals champion in the Great Clips.
Yes.
That also may have something to do with it.
I forgot about that. I forgot about that.
That's why I'm here. And he also, not only did he win this, he also won the Sky Wheelie competition. He's had a big weekend over there. He's got 2 overall event wins as well from previous events that are happening. I know that means a lot to him to go to Mexico in front of all these Latinos, to be in front of the people that he loves and represents in the truck that they love, and to be able to win. I know that means a lot to him. He talks about it all the time. Anytime I've had him on Inside Monster Jam, when we talk about what it means to him to represent that community, he beams, his face lights up, and then to be able to go over there and win is incredible. Speaking of winning, Colt Stevens, little driver named Colt Stevens, you know, the World Finals Freestyle champion, the World Finals High Jump champion. He won Freestyle in Mexico City. So Colt has been a little quiet after winning the High Jump championship, but he gets it done tonight in Mexico City. Take a look here. Big time Sky Wheelie on the log stack.
I love it, Scott. Can I get a little cowabunga from you?
Cowabunga.
Colt Stevens, he has just grown and become such a great driver, even compared to before he was an announcer. He's just so much better, and he seems to be fitting in so well with Velociraptor. You can see this freestyle. Oh, hits the 8-pack right there, gets a nice little backflip going on in Mexico City. The dirt looks really sandy and soft, so these drivers are having a lot of fun.
Yeah, Colt Stevens, a 2-time World Finals champion now, coming out of the broadcast booth 2 years ago, getting it done on the track, getting it done here in Mexico City. A lot of events over there. You can still live stream those events on our YouTube channel as well as monsterjam.com, and that's where you're watching right now. We appreciate you tuning in wherever you're tuning in, whether it's Fast TV, whether it's monsterjam.com or YouTube. We appreciate you being here along for the ride with Marvel and Monster Jam. It's been a great event so far. 2 competitions, 2 different winners. We're going to take a look at our BKT overall point standings after 2, because this one gets a little jumbly after you get down to those middle numbers. We had Adam Anderson, a Gravedigger, winning 2 second-place finishes. So doesn't have to win one to be at the top of the leaderboard. He's just been consistent. He's got 22 points. And then it's a bit of a drop-off. 3 points separates Adam and pretty much the rest of the field, it seems like. You have drivers with 19 points sitting there. Brandon Arthur with 16. But freestyle, always important, generally always determines the overall event champion. But when you have a points differential where you have 22, 19, 19, 19, 19, and 16, it's anybody's game.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what was so intriguing about this Marvel Monster Jam mashup, is I knew that the points were going to be very, very close. Yes, racing is who's the fastest. It doesn't matter. But the fan judging was so close in 2-wheel skills, and you're seeing it on this leaderboard. When you see 22, 19, 19, 19, 19, 19, 16, that's anybody's game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and maybe even 6 has a chance to get the overall event championship.
Well, and that's where freestyle order comes into play. So let's chat about that. Before we get to that, though, I do have breaking news from Glendale. Barry Musauer, Black Panther, will compete. They got the fuel pump issue handled. We will see Black Panther in freestyle. And at the moment in the order, Barry will go 10th. So let's run down the order here for you. Jurassic Attack, Dalton Wider, he will kick it off. He is one of those drivers with 19 points. Good or bad for Dalton to be in contention for the event championship and kick off the competition?
I mean, this is the best spot to be. To me, Dalton Widener, he's just coming off of throwing his wheel out of the window. The crowd is absolutely electric in the stadium. He wins. He talks to the crowd. They're just going wild. And then he comes out first for freestyle. This is going to be absolute perfect timing for Dalton Widener.
Well, we are going to continue getting you ready for freestyle with the Target halftime report as we continue the action here in Glendale, Arizona at State Farm Stadium. It's been an unforgettable night. The night is not over. Get your popcorn. Stay right where you are. The Target halftime report continues next. Monster Jam is brought to you by Spin Master. Epic trucks, epic stunts, Monster Jam. Welcome back to State Farm Stadium in Glendale. You see the lights around the stadium. That can only mean one thing. It's about to turn up for Monster Jam Freestyle. We're going to go down the order. Adam, Jurassic Attack, Mostroma, Rottweiler, Thor, Velociraptor, El Toro Loco, Iron Man, Sparkle Smash, Vendetta, Wildside, Black Panther, The Amazing Spider-Man, and Gravedigger closing it down. Who has the best spot in this order?
I mean, I got to go with Dalton Widener at spot number 1. The track is dry. They definitely put a little water down and remade the track, getting it ready for freestyle. But I think the track is going to deteriorate. This 100-degree weather out here in Arizona, when they brought the dirt in, it was very, very dry. So it's going to break apart. All the lips of the jumps are going to kind of go down. They're not going to be as lippy. You're not going to catch as much air. So it's going to be harder for these other drivers.
Clock has started. 2 minutes to paradise for Dalton Widener in Jurassic Attack. He's got 2 minutes on the clock, 30 seconds to fill to get a score. Fans in attendance scoring at judgeszone.com. They want to see him fill the clock, use all the obstacles. Technical moves, a backflip, maybe throwing that steering wheel back out the window. Anything to get a great score. Dalton in contention for the overall event championship. What a story it would be if he leaves Glendale taking that trophy back to Team Throttle Monster in Utah. Dalton now working his way from the outside in, going all the way around the track, trying to hit every ramp in front of him.
He's making great use of the space right now by making sure he's keeping up his momentum. The truck is settling well. And one of the things about Dalton Widener, oh, nice wheelie right there, throwing that two-wheel combination in there. But one of the things about Dalton is he's one of the only drivers out here not in a new truck. He knows his truck so well, and I think that is a big advantage coming in tonight.
Halfway through the run, freestyle was the only competition this year on Arena Championship Series West that seemed to get away from him. He only had 2 freestyle wins on the season, 15 skills wins, 25 overall event championships, so he can get it done. And we'll see if he can get it done here. If he gets a backflip in here right out the gate, he can wind up with the overall event championship.
And something to think about here, Scott, is that next weekend they have off. So they have the option to be able to throw a little bit more time into fixing this truck so he can hammer on this
He's
thing.
going for a backflip right here. Out there goes Dalton Widener. Jurassic Attack brake checks and absolutely shatters that front end of that truck. The axle is hanging by a thread. And my, oh my, broken tie bar, first backflip out of the gate.
Yeah, it looks like he either broke a tie rod or he broke a left hub on that left side. But watch the rear wheels at the top. They kind of slowed down. I'm not sure what happened. If he brake checked just a little bit too early, he wanted to slow the rotation down, but he clearly under-rotated that backflip, snapped off the left front tire, left front BKT, and that will end his run short.
So many parts here on the Monster Jam truck. The tie rod, the sway bar, the 4-link bar, all instrumental in landing these things. Dalton is out of the truck. Fans going nuts for the young man out of Knoxville, Tennessee. Will the backflip be enough to guide Dalton Widener to the overall event championship? As we await the score, 8.597. That is not a bad score out the gate. Adam Anderson has the lead. Let's go to Casey now.
And Adam, this is the first time that this brand new Gravedigger truck has seen competition. Talk to us about how you're breaking in Gravedigger 42.
You know what? Like you said, this is the first time I've been behind the wheel of this Gravedigger, and it's totally different from my previous Gravedigger, number 35. So since 2018, I've been driving the same chassis, same truck, and here we are. We're throwing it out here on one of the biggest stadium floors in the nation right now, and I'm ready for it. You know, I feel pretty good. 2 seconds, I'll take it. It's okay. But you know what Gravedigger wants in freestyle? A big number one, baby. We came here to bury the competition. Doesn't matter what number Gravedigger we're in, we're taking it out, and everybody else with us.
Talk to us a little bit about Monster Jam Freestyle. This is a brand new track design. I feel like there's a lot of opportunity out there for some wild action, but also it feels like you kind of have to plan a couple hits out there, because if the truck lands funky on one of those obstacles out there in the track, that could not end the way that we want it to.
Absolutely. You know, like you said, we got a brand new truck, brand new track, and it's tough, but the one good thing I have for me, it's a new track, and so everybody's learning on it tonight, and it's going good so far. As you can see, man, what an awesome time it's been, but at the same time, we're just getting started. So I'm ready to light it up. I want to get out on that track, and I want to get a taste of it. And Gravedigger number 42, it wants to taste it too.
Adam, thank you so much. We're excited to see you attack the track, and we're going to get back to Monster Jam Freestyle.
Thank you, Casey. Adam Anderson means business. He will close out the event down there. So Adam Anderson will know what he needs to do to win the event championship. And he talks about numbers of the Gravedigger. It doesn't. We've seen so many different Gravediggers. It doesn't matter what he's in. He's going to throw it down. I think the fact that he has a shot to basically take all of the Marvel hype and the Sparkle Smash hype and show him what old Gravedigger's about, I think Adam will step up to the plate and get that done. But here we go, Jeff Souza coming out in Monster Mutt Rottweiler. And Jeff wastes no time. He hits the first obstacle he sees. Debuted back in 2015, driving for Kelvin Raymer. There is a name out of history there. Good old Kelvin and Rosalie Raymer, Wildflower. Everybody have fond memories of that truck, and time flies with Kelvin. He moved on to Team Throttle Monster in 2019, and he's just been doing some spot shows here and there. Competed in 2023 and 2024, drove Earthshaker for his son Hunter, and now he's in Velociraptor. I saw him in Tampa a year ago competing on a Stadium Championship Series. He's been in Reno and Sacramento this year on Arena Championship Series West. Team Throttle Monster has a lot of trucks in Monster Jam, Adam. They've got 6, and on any given night, you might see Jeff show up and drive one.
Yeah, he's doing a good job here tonight. He's definitely been a little bit tentative. I'm not sure what his thoughts are or what his strategy is here tonight. He's been, in this freestyle so far, he's definitely been going off a little bit. Kind of looks like it's starting out slow. Maybe it's heating up now. But he's got to do something incredible. He's had a bit of an off night from the go.
I think really at this point, when you are stepping into another truck and driving for a team, you just don't want to break anything too badly. You want to get through, fill the clock, hit some big air, keep the truck in one piece, park it in the stall, and come out and drive again another day.
Yeah, and I think that's the unfortunate part is these Monster Jam trucks, they cost a lot of money, and when they break, sometimes they break a lot of different things. And it's not even so much the money to fix it, it's the time that it takes to fix it between shows and just all the hard work, blood, sweat, and tears that goes into this. So sometimes you have to drive your truck a little smarter.
Out of Denair, California, Jeff Souza trying to get something done here going into a donut. We saw Jeff do a donut in the Great Clip Skills Challenge. Now he's got one right here in freestyle. Now comes over the backside of that berm corner and right onto the transfer jump, nose wheelie on the landing and into the bicycle.
This is definitely the best we've seen Monster Mutt Rottweiler tonight.
And that'll do it for Jeff Souza. Take a look at the original Super Glue to the action replay.
Comes up a little short there. Gets a nice little sky wheelie, maybe a popper. Comes in here, slides the truck around, nice and slippery, little water down right there, and then comes up with some dust after he gets that surface water off. Hits another jump. Doesn't get a backflip, though. I think that was a slight missed opportunity.
7.253 is the score for Monster Mutt Rottweiler. Jurassic Attack retains the lead so far. There's a great look back there in the pit area at State Farm Stadium. And here comes Jamie Sullivan out of Christmas, Florida in Thor.
Now, when I watch Jamie Sullivan drive, she is, I'm just going to say it, she's the best female driver in Monster Jam. But one of the hardest things about Jamie Sullivan is that you know, she goes big and all of a sudden she's absolutely amazing. And then sometimes Jamie struggles because of things like yesterday where she broke off the front suspension and shocks to her truck, you know, and things like that happen. And it seems like she kind of backs off the pedal a little bit, has to regain her confidence in herself and in her equipment. And once she gets the confidence and really has that inner confidence that stays there, I think Jamie Sullivan's going to be a force.
We got another update from Mexico City. Armando Castro, Toro Loco, just won the overall event championship. He's now taken all 3 out there in Mexico City. More events coming on the live stream. So Jamie Sullivan has been to Glendale before. She's making her second start here. Her last was back in 2023 in Monster Mutt Dalmatian. She finished 8th overall, 8 in freestyle, and now she is stopped in her tracks on the track. She's got 73 seconds left on the clock. So the good news is that she has got enough to get a score. Obviously, it wouldn't be a very good one here if she can't continue. Does this have anything to do with the suspension that she had to get completely replaced earlier today?
No, it doesn't have anything to do with the suspension, but maybe the electronics that the suspension kind of ripped off in that front area. Or maybe it could be the suspension, because you see how lean to the right that truck is. I don't know if a 4-link bar is maybe out of balance or something's going on, but that truck is definitely leaning to that right side. You can see it there quite a bit. So I'm not sure if something is broken, something is bent, but she's over.
Coming up next, we got more freestyle on the way. Velociraptor and El Toro Loco are on deck. Jamie Gardner making his way to the truck. Coming up from Glendale State Farm Stadium next on Monster Jam. We are back at State Farm Stadium here in Glendale, Arizona. You're watching Monster Jam live as Marvel and Monster Jam have teamed up again here in the United States, this time not just overseas. Moments ago, Jamie Sullivan ended her freestyle run with 73 seconds left on the clock. She ends up with a 5.554. The lead remains with Jurassic Attack. We have a cluster at the top of the BKT leaderboard. Adam Anderson has 22 points. We heard from him earlier with Casey. He is primed and ready in that spot. We got Dalton Widener, who currently has a freestyle lead. He has 19 points. You have Camden Murphy in there. Jamie Gardner is in there with 19. Brandon Arthur, who is coming up, he's got 16. There's so much on the line here, and I know I've hyped this up a lot, but this is a big show being watched all over the world on many different platforms, and it's literally a high-pressure situation. So we'll see who can handle the pressure, as Dalton Widener currently has a freestyle lead, currently has the favorite odds, if I were a betting man, for the overall event championship, and I believe his roommate and teammate would agree. Here is Devin Winfield, Velociraptor, the young man out of Las Vegas, Nevada, trying to make a name for himself, and winning a freestyle here would go a long way. Devin won his first overall event championship. You talk about a storybook ending. He's from Las Vegas, Nevada. He goes to the Thomas and Mack Center and competing in front of his family, his friends, his girlfriend, and he walks out with the overall event championship Saturday in prime time. You want to talk about stepping into a pressure situation and coming through? He did it that night in Las Vegas.
Yeah, and another thing that I just want to mention was at the top of the show, Devin Winfield went up against Gravedigger, which Gravedigger had the fastest time at that point out of anybody in practice and from the race prior. And Devin really gave him a run for his money. And the thing that I've seen out of Devin as an athlete, as a Monster Jam driver, that is so intriguing is that Devin didn't succumb to the pressure at all. He looked very solid. He didn't make any mistakes, and it was a very close race. When you see drivers that are in high-pressure situations that can come in clutch like that and not make any mistakes, yeah, he did lose, but it wasn't by much, and it was to one of the best.
He's been waiting for this moment for a long time, and a huge shout-out to his crew chief, Mason Paul. Mason is another guy that's been around the Monster Jam sport for a long time as a volunteer, cut his teeth as a technician, learning how to wrench on trucks. Now he's a crew chief for Team Throttle Monster. And when Dalton and Devin win, they shared that with Mason Paul, who has really developed a reputation as one of the best independent, if not all crew chiefs in the business. Velociraptor now winding up, coming back to the near side of this track. Devin Winfield making his stadium debut. He's going to go for a backflip here. This is a moment to make him a star. And Devin Winfield hits the ramp. And Devin Winfield is going to land the backflip.
See you later, Tyrod.
And we saw that earlier from Dalton Widener. Now Velociraptor gets one to match. Nonetheless, he lands his first stadium backflip attempt. Take a look at the replay.
Comes off this berm. Nice job from Devin Winfield getting this freestyle going. Has nice speed, kind of whipping that truck around. Gravedigger-esque, and then just under rotates. Looks like that backflip container is not giving these drivers the rotation. It's going to get a lot of height. So I'm sure right now other crew chiefs are communicating and the drivers are watching like, hey, you're going to have to hit the Morgan & Morgan backflip ramp very hard with some speed because you're not getting the rotation off that thing.
8.201 is the score, so Devin Winfield is going to jump up in a second. Dalton Wider, Jurassic Attack, has the lead. We are going to take a break here. When we come back, more freestyle action. El Toro Loco, Ironman, and Sparkle Splash are next. It's the Unicorn coming up on Monster Jam. We are back with more Monster Jam Live from Glendale, Arizona. Jamie Garner, El Toro Loco already on the track and ready to hit the freestyle track to get that clock running from 2 minutes down. Sports are different in every aspect. You have sports, baseball, football, hockey. You have Ultimate Fighting Championship. You've got pro wrestling. You've got everything. Monster Jam is a sport where 2 minutes can make you a star. You know, you don't find that in many other sports. Joe Foley is a guy that literally 2 minutes has made him a star. He has turned that 2 minutes into absolute freestyle gold, and I'd like to see somebody like Jamie Garner come out here, take advantage of the 2 minutes, and make a star-turning performance here in Glendale.
Yeah, I would love to see it too, but unfortunately for Jamie, I just don't know if that's where his mindset's at, and that's what's so hard for Jamie Garner is he has his son, Zach Garner, and he's trying to take care of him. He's trying to make sure his truck is perfect. He's trying to really help him rise to the top, and he has so much on his mind right now. It's hard to focus on two things at once.
Oh, he's going for a backflip right out the gate. Jamie Garner took a victory lap to start the freestyle. He hits the backflip, and he is dragging a wheel, and he is not stopping. They're not stopping him either. He's got that wheel hanging up by a thread. The tire, it looks like the wheel may be a base. The tire is completely popped off. What a waste. We're just sitting there chatting, thinking he's just going on a victory lap. He hits the backflip ramp, and Jamie Garner is running on 3 wheels, and he's running into the ground.
I'm talking about how Jamie Garner doesn't care about a highlight because of his son, and Jamie Garner is making the highlight right now.
And he's past 90 seconds, so he's got to score. And how long they're going to let him run, I'm not sure, but that tire is hanging on by a thread. Is he going to
go back on?
Maybe Dalton Wider can throw that out the window, too. Man, he is just going on this thing. Holy moly.
Jamie Garner putting on a show.
Buy me a Coke there. All right, 65 seconds on the clock. He finally gets shot off. What a backflip. Let's take a look at the super glue. Glued to the action replay. That is a star-making run.
Yeah, it was. That was definitely a fun 90 seconds to watch. Jamie Garner putting on a show. He knows what's up, throwing his hands up to the crowd. They know he knows what they want.
So I'm being told he's getting a 1-point deduction from his score because there's that new timing system in play, and if you don't hit a certain time, you do get a point. You got to hit 60 seconds. He got 90 seconds off the clock. He didn't hit 60. He gets 1 point taken off. But man, oh man,
just comes a little bit crooked on that backflip ramp. It shot him off to the side. It looks like he used the opposite end, maybe thinking he can get a better rotation on that red side, but just pitches him off to the left, hits that right rear BKT, blows it off the bead.
So 8.227, that is actually a 9.227, but he gets the point taken off. He didn't hit a minute, and that's the rule. So tough break for Jamie Garner, but what a run. Man, that tire. All right, we are going to head back to break while we get El Toro Loco off. Iron Man is next. Brandon Arthur is coming up after this on Monster Jam Live. You're watching Monster Jam Live from State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. And there is Iron Man's Brandon Arthur strolling the track earlier. Brandon about to come out for freestyle here. Again, we talk all day about pressure-packed situations. This is a huge moment for him, and it does have event championship implications.
It definitely does. He is at 16, but with the things that we've seen tonight, anything can happen in Monster Jam. You just never know. Right now, he needs to go out, put on the best performance that he can, and we know he can do it.
Yeah, he would need a little help here with Dalton having a lead. So this truck has been around Monster Jam before, previous incarnations, 2010 to 2018. 5 World Finals appearances. It's a who's who of former drivers that have been behind the wheel of the previous Ironman. Lee O'Donnell, Scott Buteau, Morgan Kay, Dustin Brown, a couple of my former broadcast partners. Now Brandon Arthur has been behind the wheel since Ironman came back. And he's really developed into this. I talked to him. We heard it from the top of the show, that interview. Also, when I had him on Inside Monster Jam, he has really valued this experience, being able to have this Ironman brand, being able to be a part of this truck. And he says he really feels like he's getting into that character of being Ironman. And I love that, man, because as a superhero fan as a kid, I would love nothing more than to drive a Marvel superhero truck. And Brandon Arthur's just living that dream right now, and he's doing a great job representing both brands.
And right now, he is flying around this track. Pieces coming off of the truck. I wonder if they're going to stop him for a second.
He goes right into a nose wheelie, and now he's got some issues there with the wheels locked up. Planetary
member
in the back. You see that back wheel not turning. He's got 52 seconds left on the clock, so he has hit a minute. He won't get a point taken off, and he will get a score. Just to clarify, earlier Jamie Garner got 90 seconds. He made it to that mark, didn't make it to 1 minute. And in freestyle, if you don't make it to a minute, you get a point deducted off. There's some of those parts coming off that truck that you were talking about, and that's why we have a stop. And it looks like that's going to do it for Brandon Arthur. He is out of the truck, so mechanical issues plaguing him, just absolute breakage here on Ironman. Take a look at the Super Glue replay.
Yeah, it looks like the lights come off of the back of that truck, just break off. But, yeah, you could see the light bar right there fly off the back, but he hits the brakes here, and I'm wondering when the truck drops to the ground if it breaks that planetary gear. Maybe he was just slightly on the gas when it hit the ground and shredded those gears inside the wheel.
So Brandon Arthur's night will come to an end. He will not remain in contention for the event championship, 7.105. That puts him currently in 5th place. Dalton Wider, Jurassic Attack, has the freestyle lead. We are halfway through the field now. 6 trucks in, 6 trucks coming up. We're going to see Black Panther take the track as well. There is your leaderboard. Jurassic Attack 8.597. El Toro Loco 2nd. Velociraptor 3rd. Monster Mutt Rottweiler in 4th. Iron Man just takes over the 5th spot. And Thor rounds out our current top 6 with a 5.554. Kayla Blood, Sparkle Smash is next. She's going to hit the track. Everybody's favorite unicorn is coming up in freestyle on Monster Jam. Welcome back to Monster Jam in Glendale, Arizona. Here comes Kayla Blood out of Lafayette, Louisiana in Sparkle Smash. This truck made its life-size debut at SoFi Stadium with a Smash Mountain stunt. And now fans all over the world can see Sparkle Smash. She won her first overall event championship in this truck earlier this summer in Los Angeles at the Crypto.com Arena. 1 freestyle win on the season. Kayla Blood, Soldier Fortune, many years in that truck, is a former member of the U.S. National Guard. Loved representing the military. Now she gets to represent all these female fans, all these great fans of Sparkle Smash, because it's not every day that you get to drive a real life-size toy, and she gets to do that.
Yeah, she does, and I cannot think of a better driver to drive Sparkle Smash. It is a unicorn with an attitude, and that is Kayla Blood in a nutshell. She drives so aggressively. You love to watch her. Sometimes she's a bust, but sometimes she puts on a fantastic show.
Boom or bust, and when she booms right out the gate. I want to see push-ups on top of that unicorn, man. That's what I want to see. Making her 4th start here in Glendale. The last was back on April 27th in Soldier Fortune. First Glendale appearance for Kayla Blood in Sparkle Smash. With the announcement of the 2025 lineups, we saw Jamie Sullivan going to be in a Sparkle Smash as well on the Arena Series. Kayla's excited about getting a teammate and spreading the word of this 6-ton fearless unicorn that she loves to prance around this track. And Kayla just loves to beat up on the boys here, man. She loves to humble the male drivers in this sport, takes a lot of pride in showing them what she can do on the track.
And she definitely does it, and I think this track is playing into her favor quite a bit. She is heavy on the throttle, not a lot of finesse, but what we love about Kayla Blood is she puts it to the floor and she goes for it.
The unicorn is on the track, and Kayla Blood absolutely right now just laying it down. They got unicorn body parts already falling off. And that body is hanging on by a thread. Look at it just bouncing up and down, up and down. And now Kayla going to hit the ramp, the gray side ramp. Nice air, bounces it off. There you see more and more that the track is starting to get a little confetti-ish here, a little more unicorn. Now the whole body is absolutely shredded as we get a great look at Kayla Blood in that chassis. And she is lining up for the Morgan & Morgan backflip ramp. Here comes Sparkle Smash without the sparkle, but with a lot of smash. Kayla Blood goes up, and she pushes off the back two wheels and lands it. And I'm not sure if she had breakage. That is going to do it. So we have not seen any driver yet hit the backflip ramp and continue the run. But another backflip for Kayla Blood.
That was a huge backflip from Kayla Blood. What a magnificent run. It was solid from top to bottom. Kayla Blood putting on a clinic.
But Kayla Blood, 9.267 is the score. That is a new leader. So Kayla Blood, Sparkle Smash, comes in, shreds the body, hits the backflip ramp, and now Kayla Blood is on top of the freestyle leaderboard. What a run for her fans out here in Glendale, showing some love to the Unicorn. Coming up next, we're down to the final five. We will see Black Panther. That is coming up after the break. Mike Christensen, Zach Gardner as well. Stick around. More Monster Jam is still to come. We are back with more Monster Jam live from State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. Thank you for joining us wherever you are, all around the world, watching on the live streams, watching on fast channels. It's been a dynamite freestyle competition. I said before we went to break, we've seen a lot of backflips, but we have not seen anybody hit the backflip and be able to continue. We'll see if Mike Christensen can break that trend and get a full run in here with a backflip.
Oh, I love to hear Mike Christensen motor. You can hear that thing just screaming. Those few extra HP in that Monster Jam truck just make it sound that little bit extra mean.
Mike is making his sixth start at State Farm Stadium. He was also here back in April. Best freestyle finish here was fifth. And I touched on this earlier, those missed competitions with the blown motors. 7 freestyle competitions where you're not even making it on the track. That's a lot of points you're leaving on the board.
That's an understatement. That's all the points you're leaving on the board. But that's what happens when you take risk. And I think that's what Mike Christensen does. He's kind of like, I know I need more motor. I want more motor than the competition. I know it's going to be difficult to keep this thing together. But, man, we got to try to work the bugs out this year. And maybe in 2025 he'll have it dialed in. And he'll get all those points back. And you might see him at a podium position.
Nice brake check jump, gets the floater, lands it softly, now comes up over the right side of the race ramp. Into that chalk line, into the race lane goes Vendetta. Last events were back in Las Vegas in July. Took a donut win and a racing win as well. The 2023 Monster Jam Breakout Driver of the Year will compete on Stadium Championship Series East in 2025. With a new teammate as Dalton Wider gets the bump up in Jurassic Attack. Oh, look at the smoke coming out of the back end of that truck.
I hope it's not more motor issues, Scott. Something's going on. I can't tell what color that smoke is.
Oh, he's going for a backflip here. He doesn't care. He's going to take the smoke. Sorry to cut you off, man, but we got Backflip City. And Mike is still going. There we go.
Yep, that's what we like to see. I'm sure what happened there was he got communication from his crew chief. Hey, the motor's smoking. It's getting hot. Burn this thing to the ground.
And he gets the save to end the run. So Mike Christensen does not even let the motor affect him at all. He breaks it out. He's out the front. And Mike Christensen is giving it his all, the crowd, letting him hear it in Glendale. What a run for Mike and Vendetta.
So what Mike could have done there is he could have got communications from his crew chief or somebody, or he could have looked at his gauges, seen how the motor was running, if it was getting hot. Perfect execution on that backflip. And what he does, he says, you know what? We need to get this backflip in and let's go gung-ho at the end of this run. And sure enough, Mike Christensen coming out and doing what he does best, getting it done.
We've been waiting for that backflip to continue the run. Mike just nailed it. And we'll see if the score reflects that. Sparkle Smash has the lead. 8.965 from Mike, so Vendetta moves into second place. Kayla Blood, Sparkle Smash has the freestyle lead, and we are down to the final four. So we have Wildside, Black Panther, the Amazing Spider-Man, and Gravedigger on deck, all of them in contention, except for Black Panther for the overall event championship. So seeing what we have seen so far from Sparkle Smash with a 9.627, if you're Adam Anderson, if you're Camden Murphy, what are you back there thinking? How do you come out here? How do you beat that score? And how do you win the championship?
Well, first of all, I want to give a shout out to Mike Christensen. I know you just asked me a specific question, but I really think he got a little robbed there. That looked like a fantastic run to me, but Caleb Blood in front, no matter what way you put it, for Camden Murphy and Adam Anderson, you really have to go out there and just be fast. You have to be heavy on the throttle, find your throttle rhythm, get across that floor, and keep it speedy.
And speaking of throttle, look at that leaderboard. 4 Team Throttle Monster trucks in that top 6 right now. So Team Throttle Monster representing very nicely here tonight. Mike Christensen with that run moves into second. Caleb Blood has the score to beat 9.627. Jurassic Attack in third, Toro Loco in fourth, and Velociraptor in fifth. Here's the young man that started the night out with a JCB Racing win, Zach Garner in Wildside. And he is going to try to step up to the plate and win freestyle.
See, you can tell just right off of the bat, Scott, Zach Garner gets on the throttle really hard. It's important to get the crowd going at the beginning of your run, find that momentum. But what is so hard about it is a lot of the times, I mean, that's the Gravedigger way. Come out fast, get the crowd excited, but you have to worry about breakages. You can see a little bit of that truck flying off, little carnage on the track. But Zach Garner doing a great job implementing two-wheel skills, coming out fast.
Zach, another driver who will make the adjustment next year from arenas to stadiums. He will compete on Stadium Championship Series West. 9 freestyle wins on the season. Those are 2024 arena stats. Third on Arena Championship Series East. 2021 Monster Jam Co-Rookie of the Year. 2024 Arena BKT Freestyle of the Year. And, of course, nobody can forget the 2024 JCB Racing World Finals Champion.
Yep, little smoke coming out of the back end of that truck. It had like a little stutter step when it landed earlier. I'm not sure if that's the transmission or what's going on in that truck, but something definitely happening. Hopefully it will last for the rest of the freestyle run.
Zach Garner heating up a little bit here. 40 seconds remaining on the clock. Trying to find a rhythm, get a groove going. Comes up over the inside part of that berm. Just jump after jump, trying to get from one side of the track to the other. Going to avoid the backflip ramp for now. Actually, he's going to make a hard right turn. He is not avoiding the backflip ramp. So he likes this side of the ramp. We've seen everybody hitting it over here. And Zach Garner goes up. And Wildside going to come down. That is a big backflip. He lands it on the back, too. Finally gets it down. Little slap really on the back end.
Yeah, and you could see that he watched the other drivers. He just absolutely hammered the throttle. Knew he needed more rotation right when he went up the ramp. Kept it wide open, pedal to the metal, got that little bit extra rotation to not get the breakage, and Jamie Garner's pumped.
And look at Zach Garner going over. He's going to try to save it, but look at the back end of that truck. And we got it. We got everything going on right now. We got smoke. We got a steering wheel flying out the window.
Oh, man,
Adam,
I haven't seen
look at
like
that truck.
in a
The
while.
front housing is completely shredded. I have never seen one steering wheel thrown out the window. Tonight in Glendale, we've seen 2. Take a look at the super glue replay. Holy cow, that truck is done.
Here he comes into the backflip. He puts the pedal to the metal, gets the rotation. But Scott was throwing the steering wheel out the window like the mic drop, or what was it?
He may not have even thrown it. It happened after that boom. And
Let's watch right here, see if we can catch the end.
Now the truck just goes there. 9.588. How does that not take the lead? How did that run not take the lead? I love Kayla. I love Sparkle Smash. I love that run. But, man, the way Zach finished that off, good Lord. 9.588.
What an unbelievable run.
They're going to take a minute to have to get that truck back up to where they can get it off. I mean, there aren't many carnage instances where I can think of where you just see a truck almost split in half.
I can't stop laughing because I can't believe how destroyed Zach made that truck.
I can't believe the wheel came out. We're down to our final 3. We get a look at Black Panther. Barry Musauer is back. And Barry Musauer and Black Panther are next in freestyle on Monster Jam. We are back with more Monster Jam live from State Farm Stadium in Glendale. Moments ago, Zach Garner broke Wildside in half on the track. There are still some remnants down on the track right now.
Here's the replay.
As you take a look at this unbelievable.
You can see that the way the truck got torqued there when it hit the side of those cars, it just twisted the chassis so much that the truck ripped the back of the whole back of the truck is gone.
Yeah, well, I think it's still down there. Some of it. Man, just what a way to end that run.
Are you a little lost for words? Or
yeah,
what?
Listen, it's one thing to see corners like that. I still have no idea why the steering wheel flew out the window. Where did that come from? Let's take a look at the replay. Here's a better look.
Here's Jamie Garner cheering him on, and he's like, "Oh, my truck!" Oh, man. I mean, 1 second Jamie's hyped, and the other one, I think he's just seeing dollar bills. Let's see the steering wheel. Oh, he does throw it out. He threw it out.
Trying to save the wheel. All right. Man. Wow. So we got Bari Musauer coming
You're not
back.
Speechless very often,
No.
Scott.
That was wild, man. That was one of my. I think that's a Crash Madness nominee for 2025 if we can. All right, here's Black Panther. So Bari Musauer back after winning in round 1 in racing. Could not compete in round 2. Hasn't been back on the track since fuel pump issues plaguing Black Panther. 9.627 is the score to beat from Caleb Blood in Sparkle Smash. If you're Bari, and you got to follow that. Now, we see Bari do this all the time in Zombie with the fans waving the zombie arm, so it's nice that he still takes that with him in Black Panther. But what do you do here to Bari to follow that up? You haven't had any luck tonight. You've been out for most of the event. Are you just trying to be Mr. Consistent, or are you trying to keep this wild, crazy runs that we've seen up?
I mean, if that last run from Zach Gardner doesn't beat Sparkle Smash, I'm not really sure what the fans want to see. So for Bari Musauer right now, the biggest thing is he has a clean slate. He didn't get to compete in racing, really. He didn't get to compete in two-wheel skills. He's coming out here. There's no shot at the event championship. But for all the fans out there that want to see Black Panther go out on top, that's the only pressure he really has. For Bari, go out there, do the best you can, put on a show.
Bari has some Marvel history. In 2012, he won the Showdown in Spider-Man in the first incarnation of that truck. He drove it 2012 to 2014, retired and moved into Zombie. Bari has a resume that anyone in their right mind would want. The 2011 Rookie of the Year, Showdown Champion, Arena Freestyle of the Year, Donut of the Year, Wow Factor, and the 2024 Entertainer of the Year. One thing he has not done is win a World Finals Championship. He's been very close. And a freestyle win here would go a long way for Bari. He has had a phenomenal year in freestyle. So Stadium Series, 3 freestyle wins, 1 freestyle win internationally. And he's been going back and forth. Bari's been racking up some sky miles this year. Zombie in the United States, Black Panther overseas, going back and forth. He's got Todd LeDuc holding down the fort in Zombie this weekend while he is here in Black Panther. And Bari Musauer, we're going to line up here. Now we're going to see the other side of the Morgan & Morgan backflip ramp. Here goes Black Panther. And Black Panther skies it, lands on the left, bounces to the right. And Bari Musauer lands the backflip. And we'll see if he's got something left. So they have paused the clock with 22 seconds left to see if he can refire. He is not going to be able to do it. So the run ends with a backflip with 22 seconds on the clock. Let's take a look at the original super glue. Glue to the action replay.
And so what you're seeing is just a veteran do veteran things. He's able to talk with his crew chief. He's able to watch the backflip ramp. He chooses the better side, to me, the red side, get a little bit more rotation, knows that it's going to take a little bit more speed than a normal Morgan & Morgan backflip ramp, gets it done, lands on all 4 BKTs, and it looks like he might get going.
7.425. Yeah, I don't know how the other side of that backflip ramp has anything left to give to it at this point, so we may have to see that side of the ramp coming into play. We're down to the final 2, the amazing Spider-Man and Gravedigger. Camden Murphy with 19 points overall. Adam Anderson with 22. So Camden Murphy needs to come in here and get a dynamite run. He doesn't necessarily have to win freestyle. That would help immensely. Right now, that belongs to Sparkle Smash, Caleb Blood, with a score to beat 9.627. Here is Camden Murphy, the amazing Spider-Man. This initial truck back in 2001 to 2003, then 2010 to 2014. 8 World Finals appearance for the original Spider-Man, driven by Lee O'Donnell, Gary Porter, Chad Tingler, and Bari Musauer, to name a few. Now the amazing Spider-Man, back since 2023, and Camden Murphy trying to put the finishing touches on a championship-type night in Glendale.
There we go. Get it going. Get some momentum going in this stadium. Let that crowd hear the motor. One of the things that I think Camden does have an advantage tonight is back in April, like we talked about multiple times, he got the racing win and the skills win. He was missing the freestyle win, but he has confidence on this dirt and in this stadium. He has to be feeling comfortable by now in this truck. He's had a little bit of time since this event started, so hopefully he can put it all together.
2023 Stadium Freestyle of the Year winner. He put in some phenomenal freestyle runs this year, led to 2 wins. 2024 Super Glue Wow Factor of the Year award winner as well. He's making 4th Glendale starts. He's won racing here. He's won skills here. He has never won a freestyle competition in this building. No better time to make a change to that than right now. Camden Murphy brake check, floater jump up over the FMX ramp. Gets it down, keeps his momentum, and then shifts it back with a drift turn. Coming back for more on the freestyle track.
And what Camden's doing in this freestyle run that I really like, nice job avoiding that jammer by getting the truck pitched, but he's just so fast in between the jumps. He's driving it like a race car in between the jumps, getting everything lined up nice and straight. Look at how good that Spider-Man truck's handling.
Yeah, it's very sleek right now. Camden, of course, no stranger to race car driving, the stock car and NASCAR as well. He can drive the NASCAR Series trucks. Pretty much anything with 4 wheels, Camden Murphy can drive it into the ground. And now Camden lining up here for the Morgan & Morgan backflip. Here goes Camden Murphy, the amazing Spider-Man. Gets up and over, tries for a moonwalk on the back end. Can't get the back 2 wheels up. And now Camden Murphy trying to get another wow moment going.
Oh,
great check
there's
jump.
A jump for you.
And now Camden Murphy feeling it. Wheel is done in the back. The amazing Spider-Man is done, and so is Camden Murphy's run. Check out the original Super Glue. Glue to the action replay.
Well, Camden Murphy hit that jump and waved goodbye to the 3rd member. Here he is with the backflip, landing that little bit on that left rear BKT, but not bad. And then this is the final jump. Watch that 3rd member just smash and break right there. Gotta love a little carnage in Monster Jam.
We've seen a lot of carnage here in Glendale, and Glendale notorious for that as well. A city just like Houston Energy Stadium, which is coming up in just 2 short weeks. Another building that is filled with carnage and tacky dirt, and an 8.960 for Camden Murphy. So that's going to put him in 4th place. The lead remains with Sparkle Smash. 8.960 for Camden Murphy. So a great run for him, a great night for him, breaking in and debuting the amazing Spider-Man in the United States. We are down to 1. Adam Anderson at Gravedigger 42 hit the track. The event championship is on the line next from Glendale on Monster Jam.
This copyrighted broadcast of Monster Jam may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the express written consent of Feld Motorsports, Inc.
Welcome back to the Monster Jam studio. We have had a wild night here in Glendale. It is the U.S. debut of Marvel Monster Jam trucks, and to say freestyle has been a little unhinged is an understatement. We have seen backflip after backflip. We have seen rollover after rollover, carnage after carnage, and we have seen a truck literally break in half on the track, man. I mean, Glendale is always something. I've been to Glendale events many times. I've hosted them. I've been a pit reporter there. You know you're in for a long night in Glendale. You know that dirt, that desert dirt is a little tacky. You know, especially with a new track like this. We talked about the racetrack earlier for Track Talk, but this freestyle track has been, I don't know if I could say awesome or unforgiving or both. But,
I mean, I think it's a combination plate. You know, it's got a little bit of everything for you, but this hard-packed Arizona dirt is sure taking a toll on these trucks. But, man, the Garner boys putting out some highlights.
Yeah, all right, Adam Anderson, Gravedigger on the track, the event championship on the line for the 5-time World Finals champion, Gravedigger 42. We've talked about that all night. The new truck doing very well for Adam Anderson. Adam has some Marvel history, but it goes back to 2012. Adam Anderson drove the old Thor truck in its debut in Gothenburg, Sweden, back September 15th in 2002. So a little bit of Marvel trivia. Speaking of trivia, I got a question for you. What is the only Marvel truck to win a World Finals championship? This is an older truck. No.
Iron Man.
Wolverine.
Oh, it is Wolverine.
Wolverine, back in 2003, Brian Barthel drove it to the World Finals Racing Champion. So a little trivia nugget, but those trucks are long gone, long retired. Now we have Black Panther, the Amazing Spider-Man, Thor, and Iron Man ready to go and lead Marvel and Monster Jam into a new era. Here is Adam Anderson with a donut. His 9th start in Glendale. He's got 3 freestyle wins here. That ties him for most all-time with his brother Ryan. He has the highest freestyle score ever recorded here, which is a 9.826. In the 2024 season, 4 overall event championships, 3 freestyle wins. That took him to 2nd on Stadium Championship Series West. Nice slap wheelie there for Adam.
He barely missed that jump on the backside. That would have been a big hit, but great track awareness. Nice cross threading.
Oh, right in the middle. Trying to thread the needle there, but there's no needle to thread. He just goes right to it.
Yeah, but I think Adam's just trying to do something different, and that's what you've seen so far. Gravedigger, Adam Anderson. Oh, getting a little sideways. This could be a big bounce.
He's trying to put this thing in the ground, and he's got a one-wheel save.
There we go.
Adam Anderson now he's starting to shed the body as well, giving everybody a look at that green Gravedigger chassis underneath.
And this really is what the best Monster Jam drivers do. They go big, they don't know the outcome, they put themselves in awkward situations, but they know how to pull it off, and Adam Anderson is one of the best, and that's why he's a legend of the sport.
And he is breaking in Gravedigger 42 in the best way possible, trying to win the event championship. And Adam Anderson, time is up. They're going to let him keep going. He is the last truck left to go. They're going to see what he can do here. He goes all the way across the middle to the pod, going to try to flip it up and over. And he's going to stop it right there, park it in the middle of the stadium, right where it belongs. Nobody has won more freestyles in this building than Adam Anderson, but is this one enough to win the event championship? Great night for Adam Anderson so far. 2 second-place finishes, looking for a win here. Here's the super glue replay.
Adam Anderson getting a little sideways off that. Just throws himself into a jammer, makes a big save. Adam Anderson, here's that same jump from a different view. Got the drone footage, pulls off the crash, and I just don't think that's going to be enough.
Score coming in here for Adam Anderson, 9.149, not enough to win freestyle. Enough for the event championship. Most likely, Kayla Blood Sparkle Smash is going to get the freestyle win. So Kayla Blood coming into these October shows, she said, I'm not gonna falter under the Marvel spotlight. And I told you this, all the hype around Marvel and Monster Jam, Sparkle Smash is here, and Kayla Blood came to win. And now we're going to go downstairs to hear from our winner in Casey.
Freestyle competition from front to back. Kayla, you said that these guys and gals were trying to take the lead from you the entire time, but you have come out with the victory.
Man, this feels absolutely amazing. After 2-wheel skills, I'm not going to lie, I was in the dumps pretty bad. So what an amazing turn of events to come out here to a stadium in Glendale, Arizona, Lake State Farm Stadium. You guys are amazing, and taking this freestyle win for all my Sparkle Smash fans here for the first time ever is absolutely amazing.
Congratulations, Kayla. We're going to go ahead and add those points to your overall event point score and find out who's taking home the overall event championship.
Kayla Blood gets the freestyle win, and it's her first stadium freestyle win in that truck, so breaking that truck in as well. Sparkle Smash gets the win. Sparkle Smash gets 12 points, but not enough for the overall event championship. We're going to come back and hear from our overall event champion. It's been a wild night in Glendale, and it continues after the break. We'll see you right here with more Monster Jam. We are back at State Farm Stadium, Monster Jam live at Glendale, Arizona. Moments ago, freestyle ended. Kayla Blood Sparkle Smash took the win. Great run for her. The run of the night, fans loved it, and she gets that win. But the overall event championship not going to Sparkle Smash. Instead, it is going to Adam Anderson, a Gravedigger. 11 points for racing, 11 in skills, 10 for freestyle, 32 points. He comes in with a new chassis, a new truck, Gravedigger 42. He gets the win, and right now KCG is standing by with her overall event champion.
A true champion team, as always. Congratulations to the both of you. Adam, you laid down an absolute burner of a freestyle, and there's no better way to break in the brand new Gravedigger 42 than with the overall event championship.
It's like you said, there's no better way to break this bad boy in than to bury it in the dirt out here. And what better place to do it than right here in Glendale with the baddest of the bone fans we got in the nation.
How about it, folks? Let's hear it one more time for your overall event champion, Adam Anderson, Gravedigger.
Adam Anderson proving that he still has it. He's never lost it. He's always had it. And Adam Anderson always a force to be reckoned with, man. He's a 5-time World Finals champion, and he's so far into his career, but there's no sign of him letting off the gas.
No, there definitely isn't, and there's no sign of him letting off the gas in a new truck either. I was very impressed that he could just hop right into Gravedigger 42, work out all the bugs that quick, and already be back on top. But something that was very interesting for me is Adam didn't even win an event tonight and won the overall event championship. So that's what veterans do. They stay consistent, stay on the podium.
Some other highlights here. Racing, Zach Gardner wins a racing championship, bookends that with absolutely just laying the truck out to waste. What else did you like here tonight in Glendale? It's a historic event, a lot to love, but I know you had some Entic-Nap moments of greatness.
I think the Entic-Nap moments of greatness, I love that. We should do a whole
We should do
segment.
that. That's a new segment.
We should do that, but the Entic-Nap moments of greatness has to be Zach Gardner, Wildside, and Freestyle at the very end. I think I felt a little pain because I've watched my brother in Supercross be in a good spot and then totally crash out, right? And Jamie Gardner's up in the stand, and 1 minute he's cheering on his son, and he's like, oh man, he's doing the best, he's doing the best. And then he sees him fold his truck completely into a million pieces, and it's one high to a whole complete low. So seeing that moment, it was pretty cool.
We haven't spent a whole lot of time talking about skills. Dalton Widener won the skills competition, and that's Dalton is a guy that is going to get a huge taste of this in 2025. He is moving up into a stadium series, so this is going to be his competition every single week, week in and week out. You know, he did it in racing. He made it to the second round here, ended up losing to Wildside, which is, you know, no slash, but he has lost to Zach Gardner his last 2 races. So I know maybe some revenge on the mind of Dalton Widener. He wins skills. Falters a little bit in freestyle, got an 8.597, not terrible, not great. But where do you see Dalton Widener as we move into 2025 competing in a stadium series for the first time in his career?
I don't see Dalton Widener winning the championship, but I do see Dalton Widener getting more confidence towards winning a championship at one point and maybe coming to World Finals next year and winning an event. For Dalton Widener, what I'm seeing is from World Finals to even the Arena Series that he drove, he's just gaining confidence and getting more and more comfortable in the truck. And you can see that he's putting the time in, and he's a real driver by how little of mistakes he makes in those big moments. Tonight was a huge moment. Marvel Monster Jam put together. This is an anticipated event. Dalton Widener comes out, throws his steering wheel out the front window in two-wheel skills and takes a win.
Yeah, he's one to watch for next year for sure. We'll see if there's a learning curve for him on Stadium Series, but if he does get to World Finals, he is one to watch to be maybe a dark horse for a World Championship. So we're going to do this again 2 more times. So we have 2 more historic Marvel events. We have October 19th in Houston at NRG Stadium. We have October 26th in Arlington at AT&T Stadium. So we shift gears from the Pacific Coast. We go to the Lone Star State. What are your expectations going into Houston as we bring Marvel and Monster Jam back to Texas?
Well, my expectations is to see the Marvel Universe come back with a big vengeance. Tonight, we did not see a Marvel truck come out on top, and I think for Iron Man, Camden Murphy and Spider-Man, Baru Musauer and Black Panther having all those problems, Jamie Sullivan in the beginning of yesterday in practice, snapping the whole front of the truck off. You could tell she was not comfortable. I think when all these drivers get just a little bit more comfortable in these brand new trucks, I think you are going to see the Marvel Universe come back and put it on top.
Yeah, this was not Jamie Sullivan's night. I talked to John Zimmer Jr., who is coming back into Monster Jam with Terminal Velocity, and we talked a little bit on Inside Monster Jam about Jamie Sullivan, and he said that she is a driver. He competed with her on her first year, and he's also competed against her in her second year, and he said she's a driver that if he didn't know it was her, he would not have been able to tell it's the same driver. That's how much he feels she has grown as a driver. She has made a huge jump. She shined at the Superstar Challenge, and I look for Jamie Sullivan to rebound from this event, get the mechanicals right, get the truck right, and have a huge event in Houston. Now, what about Camden Murphy and the Amazing Spider-Man? He had that long layoff. We talked about that at the top of the show. He talked about that. It looked early on like there wasn't going to be any rust on him in racing. He came out and made it all the way to the semifinal round and had the fastest time of the night. And then it started to get a little progressively inconsistent after that. So what does Camden Murphy do to bounce back, put together a consistent event, and walk away with an overall event championship?
I get so frustrated with Camden and just talking about Camden. We did hear, though, that he was having some rear steer issues with Spider-Man earlier on. So that could definitely be something that played a part. But it's always something with Camden, and that's what frustrates me so much is, like, I love Camden. Camden's one of my favorite drivers, and it's not that I'm talking bad about him. It's that I'm frustrated because Camden is so good and he drives so well, and you see it and you want to see him succeed, but it's this little thing that always goes on that keeps him from
He's one of the
winning.
best drivers in the world, and I think Camden Murphy is in for a huge 2025 season, but he's not done yet, and neither are we in 2024. Mark your calendars for the 19th in Houston, the 26th in Arlington. Adam and I will be right back here on the live stream, in the studio, on the call. You can watch us on YouTube, monsterjam.com, or Fast TV. That is all the time we have for Glendale. Thank you so much for watching from your homes all around the world. For Adam Entignap, I'm Scott Jordan. That's it from Glendale. That's it from the studio. Good night. We'll see you next time right here on Monster Jam.